And we haven't discussed, I haven't gotten into any great detail about these videos because that's what I took them as, and I think many of you folks took them as the same thing as just trolling our current commander in chief. However, we're discussing them today because it appears as if the videos are not morphing from simply trolling President Trump to actually telling the news. These videos are starting to sound more and more like they're trying to get messages across that maybe our government is not telling us. Perhaps the Trump administration is not being accurate about some things. It's up to you folks how you feel about this. I see in the comments that Elmo says the fake rescue, whatever the case may be. But I do want to run by you a couple of these clips. And I certainly want to find out from you folks, who do you think is currently winning this war? Obviously, America's making all sorts of shit go boom in the night. The death toll unmistakably has been committed far more by Americans than by Iranians. But in your opinion, who's currently winning this war? The Americans, the Iranians, perhaps nobody at all. So we'll talk about all that. And I see in the comments, who said that? Shay Eve says, you will never be accepted. God damn it, who the hell am I trying to be accepted by? I didn't know I was trying to get accepted by anyone. You must be new to the program. Anyway, in regards to these Lego videos, I do want to run a couple of them by you because I think it is worthy of noting. Because as I stated, they're starting to sound a lot less like trolling the president and more like they're trying to deliver news. I'm not going to necessarily play the video because it's just Trump as a Lego guy and graphics of war footage, but I want you to hear the lyrics of it. I think it's worthy of hearing. Okay, this particular video, it's called 17 Bases. 17 Bases. I want to read some of the lyrics from this. This is why I'm playing this to you. I want you, and I see in the comments, Texas says, are you considering that as news? I'm asking because it is highly detailed. I am asking that, Texas. I don't know if it's news, but I want to run some of the lyrics by you because there is a story in this shit. It was different when they were trolling President Trump. Now they're telling stories. So what I want to find out from you and hear from the folks is whether or not you believe this stuff. Because I'll tell you one thing, what the Iranians are saying in these damn videos and what President Trump is telling us leaves us with one thing that is absolutely clear. They can't both be telling the truth. Somebody is lying to the American people, whether it's these videos that are being released or it's our commander in chief, but somebody's not being honest. Their stories are contradicting each other. So thank you for that input there, Texas. And somebody sent me a hat and mustache, starting the program off right. Thank you there, Sexy Red. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goes as always. So here are some of the lyrics from what you just heard. You say 13 dead. We know that's a lie. Hundreds in the dirt. Pentagon trying to hide. So obviously, this video is suggesting that we're being told 13 servicemen and women have been lost. DJ Julio with the underwater coral. Thank you. Haven't seen that in a while. Thank you. So what the video was, or the song is suggesting, is that we're being told 13 people died. You hear the video say, we know that's a lie. Hundreds in the dirt. Pentagon trying to hide. Now, what are they trying to suggest, that we have lost hundreds of people as opposed to 13? My first inclination is that's not true. That is my first way I'm going to look at it, is if we're being told 13 people died in the war, I want to believe our government. I certainly don't want to believe that we've lost hundreds of people so far. But once again, here's another bar. This stuff, they say you got bars. Here's a bar from that same song or same video. Hundreds gone silent. Families never told the truth. While you scream victory, we laugh at you. So what they're suggesting is, when they say hundreds gone silent, hundreds of men and women in uniform have gone silent and families never told the truth. Now, what they're trying to indicate is that people have been lost and their families have not been informed they died. Do you believe that? Yes or no in the comments. Do you believe there's any validity to these videos? I got another one for you that's even worse, but how many folks believe that there may be some of our troops that died in this conflict and their families have not been notified? Hundreds gone silent. Families never told the truth. While you scream victory, we laugh at you. Is there anybody that believes the Iranian people? Let me just ask it to you this way. Trump is a 5-letter word. Iran is a 4-letter word. Type in the comments who you're more likely to believe, Trump or the nation of Iran. Now, Iran is our enemy, our adversary. I'm assuming not many of you believe the nation of Iran over our president. Iran or Trump, who are you more likely to believe with these videos coming out? Hundreds gone silent. Families never told the truth. While you scream victory, we laugh at you. 17 Bases is the name of this song. Wow, a lot of you folks are saying Iran. Somebody says Trump is our enemy too, says Paul Palmer. That's horrible. He's our president, goddammit. Our enemy? So I do see a lot of you folks actually believe Iran might be telling the truth. Wow, that's astonishing. That in the middle of a war, there's a large portion, well, I won't say a large portion, but certainly of my audience here at least, a lot of you folks believe our enemy as opposed to our president. Wow. Don't even know what to do with that, but we're going to talk about it. I do want to run one more of these by you before we go to the box, start taking comments, callers, et cetera, et cetera. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 10K. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button, helps out the algorithm. What do we say? We are MAGA friendly. Always have been MAGA friendly. Always will be MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody on this program. It's free speech for everyone. Doesn't matter what your politics are. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. So it's all about free speech here. But I do need you to certainly smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Helps out the algorithm as the show's filtering in. Continuing on, though, I do want to play this other clip real quick before we get into the actual conversation. Weapons manufacturers are the only winners in this war. I don't believe that, OG Kush. I believe the oil industry is making a killing off of this as well. As you know, they start creating shortages for oil. That leaves all kinds of room for price gouging, lying, playing games with the supply and demand and everything. I do believe the oil industries are making a killing from this as well. But in addition, I want you to hear this second clip before we get on with the show. This one is slightly longer, but I really want you to listen to the lyrics. It's kind of important. I think you should hear the lyrics of it.
You ran to China, you begged on your knees.
Please be my friend.
Please, China, please. You called Moscow, you cried on the phone. Please mediate for me. I'm all alone. But here's the news you don't want to hear. The strait is moving. Ships are here. China passes, Japan passes, India too. Fake peace. Fake peace. Not for you.
Fake peace, fake peace.
No release. Open for the world, but for you, no Greece. Iran said, everyone's welcome. Come trade, come through. But you and Israel,
Sorry.
not for you.
Fake peace, fake peace.
10 days and gone, you cry to everyone from dusk to dawn. The strait is open for the human race.
Fake peace.
Go cry in your place. You stabbed them twice while they sat at the table. You talked about peace, but your aim was unstable. You sent the bombs with your little friends' help. Now you want to pass. Go back somewhere else. The strait is open for China, for Japan, for France, for every ship that wants to dance. But when you come with your golden crown, fake peace. Fake peace. Sit down. Open for the world, open for trade, open for everyone. That's how it's played. China ships, Japan ships, India's fleet. The whole world moves you, taste the feed.
Fake peace, fake peace.
Hear that sound? That's your empire flushing down. You beg for mediation, you beg for a deal, but the strait says no, and that's real.
Fake peace, fake peace.
No release. Open for the world, but for you, no Greece. Iran said, everyone's welcome, come trade, come through, but you and Israel,
Sorry.
not for you.
Fake peace, fake peace.
10 days and gone, you cry to everyone from dusk to dawn. The strait is open for the human race.
Fake peace.
Go cry in your place. You went to She, you went to the Saud, you went to Turkey, you begged so hard. You went to Qatar, you went to Oman, everyone said sorry, done, not in the plan. Iran didn't move, Iran didn't blink, Iran sat calm while you cried in the sink. Your 10-day peace died on day one.
Fake peace.
Fake peace. Now what have you done?
Fake peace.
The world is moving, Donald.
Fake peace.
China ships, Japan ships, India ships. Everyone's passing through the strait. Everyone except you and your little friend. That's not fake, that's real.
Fake peace.
Fake release. Never.
So they're indicating that the strait is open. They just preventing American Israel from getting through it. That's what they're saying. You hear them say that. Thank you for that, Sexy Red. You do hear him suggest that Trump went to Russia. I got all these countries named down here. The name of the song is Fake Peace because Trump said that there's a 2-week peace deal or ceasefire. They're indicating there is no ceasefire. I mean, that's what they're making it clear. Rod S., appreciate the head mustache. Thank you very much. Yeah. They're indicating that what Trump is saying is not happening. That's what they're trying to tell us, is that the peace deal that Trump is suggesting happen is fake peace. That everybody is allowed to go through the strait except American Israel. You heard him say China is shipping, Japan, India, they named Russia, they named France. And then they said that Trump tried to get Russia, Turkey, the Shah, and Shia to all negotiate a deal on his behalf. And you heard him make the joke, well, no, you're all alone. Propaganda or reality? What say you? I mean, like I said, this started out as just trolling, but there's a fucking story in this stuff. There's a whole story in this song. We can talk about whether it's true or not, but there's a whole story in this second video that got released. And it's indicating that Trump is not being forthcoming on what the condition of the strait is. So I suppose we want as many people to be upset with Iran as possible because they've bombed neighboring bases and things like that. But according to this, they're not taking this out on the world. They're taking that out on the people that are attacking them, America and Israel. Are they lying to us? That's what I'm saying. Are they lying to us? Once again, Iran or Trump, who do you believe in the comments? Iran or our president? Who do you believe? This is a detailed story. That's all I'm saying. We can talk about, and I saw somebody in the comments said a stupid song. Look, we can go back and forth over the quality of the song. Some of the bars were quick, whether they rhymed or not, but the story is clear as fucking day. The story in it is clear as day. They're actually trying to tell you something. And I see somebody says neither. Well, that's still a problem because you should be able to believe our president. You should be able to believe the commander in chief. Trump lying about everything. So let me go straight to the box because these videos are crazy that they're coming out like this, but it is what it is. This is what is being released. So we'll go straight to Zach Erickson in the comments. Good evening. A lot of you folks will say you believe Iran, huh? You actually believe what Iran is saying. Let me see if it brings up my caller here. I don't know if it's doing it or not. If not, we'll move on to the next caller. Takesha Bowie, good evening. Welcome to the program. If it brings her up, I'm having a problem bringing up guests. Takesha, good evening. Hey, good evening. Welcome to the program. Have you heard of any of these videos?
Oh, I love them.
They
tell us.
Say that again.
They tell us everything that Trump is lying about. I believe Iran. I'm sorry, I do, and I'm gonna tell you why I believe Iran. They made up this whole thing about this pilot. We ain't seen the pilot face or nothing.
You're saying the pilot it was two of them. The pilot that was rescued.
Plane they went to get that everybody y'all was shouting about. And we keep replaying the story that this man went 100 miles injured, climbed up into a mountain.
Don't do this. Don't do this. No.
Sent the communication saying God is good. We found out yesterday that whatever that thing is that they have on them, you can't send a personal message on.
Don't tell me. You're trying to suggest that the rescued pilot story is not accurate?
Iran already came out with the video. They said wasn't no pilot. They was over there trying to steal them folks' minerals. They was in the exact spot where the minerals were and botched it.
Takesha. Now come on, man.
Listen, when the serviceman told us that you cannot do a personal message, I knew Pete Hegseth was lying when he came out first and said a man said God is good. I said you done did all that and you mustered up the strength to say that. I believe in the Lord, but come on now, Tim. And then a person that was in the service told us those things don't send out personal messages. There is no keyboard. There is no keyboard to send a personal message.
I heard I heard them say it's a beeper-like device. It sends out a beacon or whatever. God is, you wouldn't send God is good when you're trying to be rescued. You want to keep communication to a limit.
Tim, there's no keyboard on it, Tim. How you gonna type God is good? I don't believe anything that I told you from the beginning. I don't believe anything this administration says. Nothing they say.
Listen, let me be clear. I understand Trump says things that are sometimes worthy of questioning, but to make up a story about a pilot and a navigator being down behind enemy lines, you really believe that?
Yeah, I believe they lying. Did you see the Lego video?
Yeah, I've seen so many of them. I reposted a bunch of them, but I believe the pilot.
They come out with a Lego video. They telling us what really happened, and that we need to stop believing everything that Trump and them telling us.
They actually have
sorry, Tim. I believe Iran because they Lego things are very detailed.
And I see in the comments somebody says facts caller. They actually have an Iranian video called Jet Down. They've made a video bragging about shooting down the damn jet. I believe the jet went down.
Did you pay attention to everything that went on in that video? Did you listen to what the rapper said? You
feel like you got me in church asking him
about the minerals.
Yes, he did. He did say that.
Tim, come on, Tim. We got to be smarter than this, Tim. We can't keep letting them play us, Tim. And then wait a minute, there was another video where they said that you wasn't gonna do nothing anyway, Trump. You was manipulating the market.
Yeah.
What happened right before he made that announcement that there was gonna be a ceasefire? When the market's open, who made some money? One person.
Yeah, there is an oil tanker video about that. Yeah.
Everything they said, I believe. Everything.
The Iranian people you believe?
I believe them folks wholeheartedly, Tim.
How about this in the comments? Sherm, Big Sherm says, World News has what's happening. They showed us the plane wreckage.
Tim.
They did. They showed us the broken parts of the F-15 that you're saying was not shot down.
Tim, listen to me. I never said it wasn't shot down. I said I don't believe the story about the pilot rescue. That's what I said.
So you believe the jet was shot down, but you don't believe the pilot was behind it?
They didn't go over there to that was not a mission to go rescue no pilot. Tim. Where he at? What's his name? Why we ain't seen no pictures? Why he hadn't come out and said anything?
Is that what they normally do?
Tim, they post pictures. They'll put a picture up and say, sorry, they'll call his name. They will. They will.
I thought I had something to talk about, but that's even worse than what you're saying. I don't want to believe that, Takesha. I don't.
You don't have, Tim. You don't have to, sweetie. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe anything that I believe. I said I believe I ran over Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth. There's a reason they got rid of those generals right before they went and did what they did. Because them folks probably said, now we ain't finna lie with you. And then there's a report, Tim, that soldiers are coming out saying that Pete and them even lying about what happened in Kuwait.
They lost.
These people gonna tell it.
Yeah. There's no way you're going to keep a secret if this many people know about it. But fact is, because the next government, particularly liberals, are going to just give them permission to talk. But the problem is, we were told we lost 2 C-130Js. That was my last fucking show about this rescue. 2 C-130s went down. 2 of these damn Ladybird helicopters went down. We lost 2.
That's why they had 100 people for one person, because they was over there trying to steal them 4 minerals. It was right where them 4 minerals. Just so happened a coincidence that he was found right where the minerals were. Tim, stop it. Like I said, Tim, you can believe Trump and them if you want to. That's on you. You have a right to do that. You asked me, and I'm telling you, I don't believe nothing Trump and Hegseth say. I trust the Iran people more than I trust them.
This reminds me of when Taraji in Empire said you can't even dike right. I don't believe this lie. This is really bad. I can't believe. I'm sorry, Tim. They can say I support Iran. I do not. But what I can do is have logical thinking and sit back and think on the things they've told us all this time and compare it to the Lego videos and the raps, Tim. And I believe Iran. This is some of the most patriotic shit. In fact, hearing what you're saying is, if that's true, this would be the most disappointing patriotic story since I heard that Lone Survivor starring Mark Wahlberg was not based on the truth.
It's only disappointing to the people that still got hope in Trump.
No, I got hope in it. No, I got hope in the U.S. military that they performed a patriotic rescue.
Them folks doing what they told to do. They scared not to. You see how they getting rid of folks? They scared not to. That's why they doing what they were told. And that's why soldiers are coming out now trying to tell us the truth about how they lied in the service. These soldiers are coming out and telling that they lied.
This is really bad, though. If they said...
I'm going to believe the soldiers.
I see somebody said she ignorant as fuck. Who said that?
It doesn't. Listen, you're ignorant if you believe anything Donald Trump said. You've been ignorant. You've been ignorant since the day he came down that escalator, and you get more ignorant as the years go on. You're the person that probably had a bandage on your ear, that had no scar on his, that grew back like he was Jesus picking up Peter's ear and putting it back on his face. I don't care how ignorant you call me, you're going to be the one that's going to be looking very ignorant in the end. And I'm going to be laughing my ignorant self all the way to your page with a bunch of laughing emojis, okay?
Now, you mentioned the ear. Are you trying to suggest that what happened in Pennsylvania wasn't accurate either?
You don't see the reports coming out, Tim?
You sound like the liberal version of Q.
Have you seen the videos, Tim, that they coming out with, or the Secret Service moving the people out the way in the front right before the people was fired and the people still. Tim, if you hear a gunshot, you're not gonna run.
Takesha, and I see in the comments. Hold on, hang on a second. Somebody in the comments said this ninja, but he actually used the word, this ninja's slow as fuck, and so is his audience. So apparently somebody does believe you, but somebody died in Pennsylvania when Trump was holding his ear. Somebody actually died there.
Let me tell you something. If you have a drive-by in your neighborhood and somebody accidentally get shot, were you aiming at the person that accidentally got?
No.
Okay, when somebody set something up or make a rouge, don't something always happen that they don't expect?
So were they trying to miss everybody and just accidentally hit somebody?
No, what I'm saying is this, Tim. If I set something up, me and you set something up.
Okay.
I say, hey, Tim, look, I'm going to fire at you, but I need you to duck.
And I'm going to agree to that shit?
And I'm just saying, but the person behind you, Tim, catch that bullet.
So I don't tell the person.
Was that for the person that was behind you?
Yeah, but Takesha, do you realize what you're insinuating? You're basically if what you're saying is true, then the Trump administration is guilty of murder of an American citizen. Do you realize that?
Investigation. Where's the investigation, Tim? Why hasn't Congress investigated this?
They're busy.
They went and got the man that was hiding in the bushes, but we ain't heard nothing else about what happened in Butler. Why wouldn't we, Tim? That was an attempted assassination. Where is the investigation, Tim?
You're just portraying our president to damn near be evil.
He is. Y'all gonna learn. Go read about Nebuchadnezzar and see. Don't you see Trump face all over that king in the Bible? He is evil. What? I call him little baby Nebuchadnezzar. He is the child of the Antichrist.
That's very strong language. Like somebody in the comments said,
I don't care. I'm telling the truth. So I don't care. I don't care what the people say that don't agree with me. They believe what they believe. I'm gonna believe what I believe.
I mean, I understand that you're entitled to do so, but I'm just saying you're really accusing our president of some heinous shit.
I am.
I see somebody says TBS addict. It says
I don't put nothing past nobody. Period.
I
wouldn't even put nothing past myself.
I would not tend to believe that Trump would play part. Hold on. I would have a hard time believing that Trump would intentionally play a part in a deliberate killing of an American citizen.
I didn't say it was deliberate to take that man out. I said it was botched. That man wasn't supposed to be the casualty in that.
So it was just supposed to miss what to draw.
The reports are coming out. The videos are coming out. I need you to pay attention. You know who else talking about it now?
Who?
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, Tucker's all over Trump. Is he talking about that? What happened in Pennsylvania?
Talking about Butler. He talking about Butler. He absolutely is. Yeah, because there's videos coming out now. It's all on Twitter. Tim, stay on Fox 6 and get on something else so you can
I watch more than Fox. But
you watch Fox and News Nation and them ain't gonna get you no information that you need, baby. You need to come off them right-wing stations and get with some real stuff and do you some investigating. And when you hear stuff, you won't be ignorant to the fact that it's being talked about.
Well,
they've been talking about this. They've been talking about Butler for 2 weeks.
News Nation is not right-wing.
It might well be. All of them might well be because they can't say that we got Trump. They're going to be investigated soon.
Yeah.
On CNN, on CNN right now.
So
Come on now.
So you believe virtually everything Iran is saying then?
I do. Ain't no virtually. I believe everything they say. Everything.
So,
I do.
so how does this end then? If our leader, in your opinion, is just an evil despot, how does this Iranian conflict end?
God gonna see about it, Tim. Trust me. Trust me. God got it in control. Y'all give Trump all this power, and y'all admire him, and y'all he the most powerful. No, he's not, Tim. The only reason he the most powerful because when you feed a demon, it'll grow, and y'all keep feeding into it and talking into it, and keep saying it, and it make it grow. And so that's what's going on. But me myself, I know who the most powerful person is, and it ain't Donald Trump.
Well,
he gonna see, and he's gonna definitely see by Trump.
Well,
Trust me.
In the comments, Advent Comics says Tim is MAGA adjacent, and yes, Newsmax is right. I didn't say Newsmax, I said News Nation. Newsmax is obviously to the right. I said News Nation, different network. Now you're talking about God is the most powerful, but I'm talking about in terms of man on earth, Trump is the most powerful. Would you agree?
No. He's not. Trump is weak. I don't know why y'all see him as this strong man. If you take Donald Trump and remove Secret Service or bodyguards and put him in the middle of the hood, he'll be shaking like Don Knotts. No, he's not. He talks at folks and act like he act because he's always had somebody to protect him. But if you take that protection from him and sit him in the middle of Chicago, I bet you he'd be shaking like Don Knotts.
Well, but that's understandable. An 80-year-old white man. Come on now.
No, because if you can run your mouth like you do, you ought to stand on what you stand on when you running your mouth with Secret Service, Tim. Forget that. Because I stand, when I go somewhere, I'm the same I go. Where I go, I'm going to say what I want to say. I don't let nobody talk at me. It don't matter if I'm by myself or with somebody, baby. When you got to have somebody with you, Secret Service and all that, and you talking at folks and talking at this person, that person, put you by yourself and see if you open your mouth.
You sound just like Tupac right before he got shot the fuck up.
My uncle.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's the president.
My uncle. Tupac with my uncle.
What?
Tupac with my uncle.
You're joking, right?
Uncle Pop.
But listen. You're the president of a country. Of course, you got to have security around you. Obama wouldn't want to be.
I said he would not be doing all that talking if he didn't have protection.
None of them would. None of them would. It ain't just something unique to Trump. You think Obama would be okay if you dropped him off in rural Alabama? Obama would be concerned too.
Would. No, he wouldn't. He used to being in the hood.
That ain't the hood. Rural Alabama ain't always the hood.
I'm in Alabama. You don't tell me nothing about Alabama.
Your state has a reputation that precedes it.
Child, they just as racist as they can be, and guess what I still do? Go where I want to go in Alabama. Walk where I want to walk in Alabama. Because I ain't scared. I'm like Big Pun. I ain't never scared.
Another dead motherfucker. Anyway.
I ain't never scared.
Another dead person.
You get a point in time. When your time is up, you got to go. It don't matter if you was nice or if you was evil. Or if you was bad or if you was scared. You still got to go at your time.
All right. But I'm going to say this before I move it on from you. I have a hard time believing what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania was some kind of planned botched assassination, as you're talking about. They actually they saw the guy doing it. So what are you saying? The guy who
hold on. I'm gonna get pew right. Secret Service, who's supposed to rush me within a minute to the limo, let me get up, pump my fist, stand there for a photo op, then take me to the limousine. Tim, I'm done with you, Tim. I can't with you. I can't, Tim. Secret Service got 1 minute to get you to safety, and you gonna stand up, pump your fist, take a picture, and then they gonna just escort. You gonna have time to get your shoe and all that, Tim. Tim dismissed me. Bye, Tim. I can't with you. Bye, Tim. I can't. Bye.
All right.
Bye, Tim.
Appreciate it. She didn't make that easy at all. I see a lot of you folks believe her, saying that it was staged. God looks after Trump, says NC Cowgirl. What about that? What about the fact that somebody was trying to take his life and perhaps God gave him the inclination to turn his face right before the bullet whizzed by? What about the possibility that God saved our president? Does it have to be some sort of creative method to help him increase in the polls? I wasn't expecting to go there, but we'll continue on. Wow, I wasn't expecting to go there. Are there more of you that believe what my last caller said, that was staged in Butler, Pennsylvania? Are there more of you that believe that? That's pretty heavy because somebody died in that. If that was staged, then someone has a murder rap to deal with. And that's a state crime. That is a state crime. That is not something that Trump or anybody else at the federal level can pardon themselves on the way out. If what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania was staged, considering that murder has no statute of limitations, somebody could end up paying the price for that. Not to mention all the folks that authorized it. Now, you heard her suggesting that with the Secret Service allowing Trump to get his shoes and pump his fists, indicating that the Secret Service also would have known it was staged. There's a lot of heads. If what she is saying is true, which is a real wild conspiracy theory, I would tend to think, but if what she is saying is true, then there's a whole lot of heads that would roll. Anyone that knew that was going to happen and acted their part, played a part, would be in trouble as well. If the Secret Service knew somehow, some way that there was no real danger for the president, and then they let him deliberately pump his fist and grab his shoe, all of them would lose their jobs and then possibly face some sort of criminal charge for being co-conspirators. Because as I stated, somebody died in that. Somebody actually lost, a father was killed. So in the comments, here's an interesting question. Dado, or better yet, dad of two girls says, was that really Secret Service? That would be interesting too. So what are you saying, that the folks that surrounded Trump when he took the iconic fist pump photo, they may have all been hired actors and actresses? This is a very, very steep rabbit hole. I'll just say that. I will, in defense of my last call, I will say this. If what she is saying has any inclination of the truth to it, it will come out. President Trump has a host of enemies, and he makes new enemies almost daily. So there's always going to be people near Trump that would reveal something like that, if that is true. But that's heavy. That is real heavy. Looking in the comments, though, it would not come out no time soon. No, it doesn't need to be soon, but it will eventually come out. It will eventually come out if something like that was staged. Trump 2028 multiple times, says Joel Grayson. Not likely. And I'm not talking about whether folks like Trump or not. I always say this many times over. Father Time is undefeated. Even if you think Trump is doing a phenomenal job, even if you're able to convince the Congress and Senate to allow Trump to run again, Father Time is not going to likely allow President Trump to be a viable leader of this nation until he's 87 years old. He's not going to beat Father Time. So for all you Trump 2028 folks, it ain't going to happen. From that aspect, I don't see Trump, because he'll be 83 in 2028. So he would serve from the ages of 83 to 87. You're asking a lot. You're asking a lot of Father Time for that to happen. Anyway, and Lisa and Kojam says, what, his ear grew back? Well, if you get nicked on the ear, it will eventually grow back, right? You guys are wild. You believe the guy didn't even get, there was no attempt on his life. I was not expecting that. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. I do need to hear from some MAGA. I would like to hear the MAGA side of it. I don't know if I have any MAGA in the audience. We'll go straight to Mike, though. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. By the way, folks, help your boy with the TikTok cap, hat, mustache, gold. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 40,000. A lot of lazy fingers in here. This must be another one of those bad shows. I hate the content of this. But, Mike, you heard Takesha, right?
I did not.
Okay, good. So I don't have to answer for some of that. Okay, have you heard you've likely heard some of these Lego videos coming from either the government of Iran or some Iranian sympathizer, right?
Uh-huh.
A couple of these videos, one of them is called 17 Bases, talking about they've blown up bases. The lyrics of this song, and I played it earlier in the monologue, hundreds gone silent, families never told the truth. While you scream victory, we laugh at you. Suggesting that hundreds of American service personnel have gone silent. Families never told the truth means there may be folks who have been KIA and their families don't even know that they've been killed. Do you believe in it? Do you believe what Iran is trying to say?
Let me see. How do I say this? You know why I'm taking my time. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
That would be
Can I just leave it?
that would be a disgrace.
What'd you say?
That would be a disgrace if our government was not telling families that their sons and daughters are being killed. You believe our current government is capable of that?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Yes.
Based on what?
Tim,
I'm listening.
Tim.
I'm listening.
you know I can't tell you that.
Oh shit! I forgot who I was talking to.
You know.
Well, let's just pretend pretend I didn't have that information.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's
It is. Yeah, it is happening. It is happening. Yes.
eventually it's going to. Then so what happened? I mean, eventually this is going to come out. Why?
Yeah, eventually it will. But the timelines and what happened, and they're just going to fudge the timelines.
So in other words, your son or daughter passed away in a accidental Humvee rollover or something when really an Iranian drone killed him?
Yeah, or whatever, right? Or whatever. And you don't know that it may have happened last week, and you might not know until next week.
Jesus.
That's against maritime law, by the way. They're supposed to announce within, I think it's 24 or 72 hours, something like that. They're supposed to tell them. But yeah, 100%. 100%.
What would be the purpose of this?
Because you don't want, if they were to announce there was more casualties than what they're telling us, then the more that you announce, the less that people were going to believe this bullshit that they're telling us. You got to remember this, Tim. Let's be clear about the ceasefire. Let's be clear about where we are today. And I told you once this started, there aren't any good options to get out of it. There's no good option to get out of it. I don't care what Straight Talks, Dum Dum, and all of them say. There is no off ramp. There is no easy off ramp getting out of this. How many military veterans have you talked to that said that there is an easy off ramp on this, Tim?
None. And I'm trying to, I'm always willing to play devil's advocate and take the other side. I can't, other than, I suppose, just apologizing to the Iranian government and doing what Obama was accused of doing, sending them piles of cash. I don't know how to end it. Unless you're going to do what Trump said. Tomorrow a civilization will die to never return. I suppose that might work.
But then how does that ultimately work long term? That would be a war crime, right? You will, and then you would turn the entire Middle East into your adversary. Because the only way to do that is there's only one way to do it. And if you do that, you make that region not habitable for quite some time.
Yeah. And the problem is if we like, let's say, for instance, because some folks were even contemplating that Trump might go nuclear, which is, I think, what you're talking about as well. The problem is if we do use some type of atomic weapon on Iran, then it opens up the door for North Korea and Russia to use one in Ukraine and just mayhem from that point on.
But you know what's so funny? You know the funny part about this, and you you stitched that video with Jam and Lou. That shit is hilarious. Because here's the thing. Everything that he talked about and everything these people talk about before the election and how terrible Biden was and how horrible Kamala would be, everything they said is exactly what this administration is doing verbatim Literally verbatim. Now, you remember when they rescued the pilot? And Trump got on.
You didn't hear it to Keisha. You should have. She claims that story ain't accurate.
Okay, what? That's where I was going. Now,
you believe that too? That there was no downed pilot?
Here's what I believe. Whether he was downed or not, that's not why they sent all of those military. That's not why they sent those many resources to go get him.
Well, let me try this way now. Most of my callers heard Takesha, even though you didn't. She gave her reasoning. Why were all of those personnel there? I want to hear what you have to say since you guys are. You haven't heard her.
They were trying to go get that uranium.
Oh my God!
They were trying to go get that.
Oh she said the same thing.
Okay, so listen. So listen. There's multiple things here. If you just give me a little room here, there's multiple things going on here. I have not talked to a former or current military person that says that level of resources would have been necessary to extract that pilot from that location. But don't listen to me. Trump stood behind that, in front of that lectern, and said, "We used 174 of this and however many of this and all these resources to go get this pilot out, right?" And along the way, they had to unalive 35 IRGCs to do it at 7,000 feet in the mountain range, right? That's what he said. Yeah. I didn't say that. So think about what we're talking about here.
And I see Robert Kennedy says a nutcase is on the phone.
Man, he call me whatever he wants, but I didn't say that shit. See, that's the funny part. They're calling me a nutcase, but I didn't say that shit. Trump said that shit, Mr. Whoever the fuck. Yeah. So it's what makes it funny to me.
Let's look at it. Let's take it this way. At the end of the day, if there was a pilot rescue, we will hear about who he or she is, right?
Yes, and I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm saying that the operation that they conducted and the resources they used. First of all, the story doesn't make any fucking sense. That man traversed over 100,000 miles and up a 7,000 foot range in 24 hours
with a broken ankle.
Just that alone, just that by itself is bullshit. Would you agree?
I mean, Tim,
you took a deep breath. You couldn't walk 100 miles straight in 24 hours.
No,
in a mountainous range with a broken ankle, Tim.
I'll tell you something though. In real life, I did walk maybe about 6 blocks on a broken ankle. It took me about an hour and a half to do it. I actually did that. I can't imagine climbing a mountain and shit and going miles. I can't imagine that. But I was about 19 at the time. I actually did. It was excruciatingly painful. So I do know I've done it myself. But I can't.
And I hear people in the comments saying he's trained for that. I'm not saying that this pilot isn't trained, but he's not trained to hike 7,000 feet with a broken ankle. And let's cut the miles in half. From 100 to 50, none of it was flat. It's in a range that he's not from. I mean, come on, Tim.
Obviously, obviously the man didn't hike 100 miles in 48 hours. I don't think that's physically possible for the average human being. That's like 50 miles in a day. I guess, but shit. I mean, that would be a hell of a lot of walking. You can hike 50 miles in a single day, then get up the next day and do another 50.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. You're in unfamiliar terrain. You're in mountainous terrain, and you're injured, right?
Okay.
Typically, if you're going to go in, and this is what the military experts have been telling me, the people that have served, the veterans, you're going to go in with a special ops unit because you need to get in and get out.
Right.
But if what Trump said is true, even in the course of them being in this mountainous range at 7,000 feet and him traversing 100 miles for them to extract him, they still had to unalive 35 IRGC to extract him that remote. What does that tell you about their capabilities, Tim? Even if all of that's true, you had to unalive 35 soldiers, Iranian soldiers, in a mountainous range that you're unfamiliar with.
It's enough to question. It's enough to question, but like I said, to me, this would be the most disappointing story of patriotism I've heard since I found out Mark Wahlberg and Lone Survivor was not based on reality, because that was another very patriotic story. And apparently that didn't happen the way it was featured in the movie either. I don't know. I want to believe that this pilot was down and our men and women went and saved him. I want to believe that, Mike.
Everybody wants to believe it, Tim. And listen, and by the way, I just said earlier, Sir Knight of Liberty, I did not serve. I'm listening to other military. But it's not even about that. It's about that we cannot trust this administration to tell us the truth about shit. That's what it's about. They've never been trustworthy. They're still not trustworthy. The bottom line is this administration caved. This bully is finding somebody that they just can't bully based on what they told us. Iran shouldn't have enough capabilities to stop anything. I mean, based on what they told us, Tim.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, and that's probably one of the fallacies of President Trump is the excessive bragging and stuff like that. Because if you're bragging it, they're all destroyed, or what is the word he's using, obliterate and all that. At that point, anything that gets shot down is going to make what you said look terrible. You know, the ceasefire, they're begging for a deal and stuff like that. I don't know why he gets on television and says that shit. Because if it's not true, people are going to find out.
It's just crazy. And NC Cowgirl. So this is the crazy part. They're saying, no, y'all make some crazy shit up. I wish
it does sound like crazy shit. You into Keisha, what you're saying, I'm going to say on its face, it does sound like crazy shit. It is hard to believe, Mike.
But it doesn't, again, Tim, I don't disagree with you, but it's not, it might sound crazy, but do you put it past this administration, based on what you know and what you've heard and what they've done, this administration, do you put it past them?
This is,
say it, Tim.
I'm trying. I know Trump, hold on, I know Trump is not always, for lack of a better term, honest in my opinion, but my God, a down pilot making up a story about, do you believe now you didn't hear Keisha, she claims the whole Butler assassination attempt is bullshit.
Hey, again, you know why I don't disagree with her?
Oh my God.
Hold on. You know why I can see that, Tim? You know why I can see that? Because if it wasn't, it tells you how inept and terrible the catastrophe I was telling you about. Can you ever tell me a time Secret Service would allow a president to even stand up in that situation, Tim? Just be honest.
No, the whole standing up with the fist pump photo, it just happened to be, some folks say if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I mean, the cameraman's in the right place, the flag is above your head. I mean, like if it happened for real, and I do want to believe that what happened in Butler was genuine, but Trump got awful lucky that all of that stuff fell into place like that. I mean,
Tim, I'm just telling you. Now, you know what I do that most people that are pushing back on me don't do? They don't go do any research. If you know anybody that's former Secret Service, ask them. I talked to 4, two being uncles. I talked to 4. Well, a brother-in-law and 2 uncles that were former Secret Service.
Okay.
They're like, that we wouldn't do that shit. They would never let him stand the fuck back up. Tim, you don't know if there's another. Think about what we're talking about.
I get all of that, but Mike, I get all of that about what they would never do and what this can and can't be done. But we're talking about Trump, Mike. And we've seen Trump do things that we never thought Congress, Senate, judges would let him do. So when you say the Secret Service, they wouldn't do it with somebody else. But Trump has proven time and time again that he can do shit.
No, Tim. He wouldn't physically have the option. They would have never let him physically stand up. They would have held him down and got him the fuck out of there. They would have never, it's not even about him. Listen, once that happens, the Secret Service is there to protect him, whether he wants to stand the fuck up or not. They're getting him out of there. He wouldn't have had a chance to stand up and fight. They would have never let that happen. They would have never let that happen, Tim. And here's the thing. Why would you want to do that? As a president, you don't know where the QP came from. You have no idea.
Because President Trump, a patriotic leader of this great nation, wanted to let folks know, if something happens to me, I want you to continue fighting. That's what the message was. That's what he stated. He wanted to let the people know, if I go down, you keep fighting for this country.
Listen, Tim. I know you got to say that bullshit. You didn't even believe that shit when you said it. Sometimes I see you gag when you get ready to say some shit like that.
I'm just telling you what was said. I'm telling you what was said.
No. What was the initial response after that happened? What was the initial response for the average American? Trump supporters were like, "You just handed in the election, right?"
True.
They were like, "You just handed in."
Yes.
And so he goes down. We haven't heard anything about the young man since. There's been no follow-up investigation. It's just over with, right? And then the guy at his golf course, that's just over with, right? It's just amazing to me how this go. Now, was unalive that day. The fire chief or the fireman, not the chief. All I'm saying is it possible? Yes. Is this something that I wouldn't put past them with what's her name? What's her name? McMahon on his staff now. I mean, shit, they know how to do it. But let me ask you this.
Yeah, you talking about the WWE.
This is a medical question. Does Mike Tyson's ear ever grow back?
I don't know.
Poor friend.
I don't know. Well, you wouldn't be talking about Mike Tyson. You talking about Buster Holyfield.
Did Evander Holyfield's ear ever grow back, Tim?
No, I think he needed surgery or something like that.
But if you look at Evander Holyfield right now, his ear looks like a Doberman picture right now. He looks like a Doberman picture right now.
What
is didn't grow back.
Well,
so Tim, listen. I would love to be in a position where I didn't even have to think about whether something like this was real or wasn't. But the bottom line is this, and this is, all jokes aside, we have an administration that has broken the law, not giving a shit about anything since he was elected. Since he won the election, he doesn't care what he says. They don't care what they do. They don't care if they're violating the law. They'll just play it out in court. And if it gets overturned, so be it. The damage by then will have been done. They've been doing it since they got in office, Tim. What is different? So, but I told you this. If somebody possesses no morality, character, integrity, or morals, you can't put anything past them.
This is a bit much, though, Mike. Faking an assassination, faking a down pilot. This is a bit much.
Well, wasn't it a bit much? Now, I can talk about a lot of things that were a bit much. When you and I have talked, and you've been like, "Yeah, I didn't see that coming," and the way they've handled deportations, and the way they've handled tariffs, and the way he's handling the economy, and cutting benefits for people, and then saying no new wars. And then saying he's not going to cut these programs, and then turning around and saying he's going to cut these programs. I told you when I met you a lot of this shit, and you said I was crazy.
Yeah, and I see in the comments a pimp named Furback said a bit much. People eating pets.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Tim. I mean, listen.
Oh my God, I'm on the wrong side of this shit, huh?
Hey, well, you know what? And the funny thing is, check this out. This might shock you. MAGA supporters, Republicans and Democrats, conservatives, independents alike, we're all in the middle of this shit. The only difference is some people rooted for this and they didn't believe that what they were seeing was reality, or they're okay with it. I've been telling you that since I met you. The bottom line is, if you still root for Trump, you're okay with all of this shit. You can spin yourself in a pretzel all you want.
But I don't believe what you're saying, Mike. I see in the comments, Buckeye, for instance, says Trump is making dinner rolls. You better buy them, turkey. Some folks don't believe what you're saying.
They don't have to, but listen. You don't even have to listen to me. But what you can't do is refute what I'm saying with your facts, with other facts. There's only one set of fucking facts. You may dispute me with your opinion, but you can't dispute what I'm saying with facts. Because the fact is, everything that I just said, he said. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but the idea that the assassination attempt was scripted, or an actual jet did not go down, when there's actual pictures of the stabilizer from an F-15, and folks,
cool.
Huh?
I said, okay.
Yeah.
You asked me my opinion about those things. You had those two things. You asked me my opinions on. I gave you my opinion. I gave him my opinion. Like I said to NT Cowgirl, if you want to stay behind Trump, Trump's always 10 steps ahead. You're the fool. Not, you know what? It ain't even on Trump. It's on you. If you think that Trump is 10 steps ahead of anybody, you're the fool, not him. Because here's why, Tim. Everything that I just said, he's done. This administration was on Obama's ass about giving $1.7 billion back to Iran. That was their money, right? They were on his ass about that,
They
right?
still bring it up. They still bring it up.
They still bring it up. So how about this? They're negotiating terms right now. They're going to negotiate terms that we already had in place with the deal that Trump got rid of. You watch what I tell you, Tim. We're going to end up, you want to bet the money?
No.
Like to take
hell no.
let me ask it this way. Is there anyone in the comments that wants to take me up on this bet? We can send the money to Tim the home. And when this shit comes through, he'll either send it to you or he'll send it to me. At the end of the day, when these negotiations are done, and I got my air quotes up, we're going to be closer to where we were with the JNC agreement than we are with what Trump's going to do. Full stop.
So in other words, this war is going to end up coming to a head by going right back into a deal that's similar to the Obama deal.
Absolutely.
God.
And the funny thing is, it cost us $1.7 billion of their money to do it last time. How much money have we spent in this war up to this point?
Probably almost triple-digit billions, because they were talking about $1 billion a day.
So triple-digit billions to potentially end up where we were in 2015. And why? Because Donald Trump and the Trump administration and the Republicans and the conservatives said in 2012, or when Barack Obama won, we want to make him a one-term president. We don't want to pass any legislation they put forward. And they've been trying to erase it from the history books ever since. And because of that, it's cost us billions of dollars.
Thank you, Sexy.
And by the way, I'm not even talking about the billions that have just been spent on the war. We're going to have to give them money, like reparations, to help them rebuild the shit that
you know how to. As a black, I gotta move it on. But as a black man, you know this government has no tolerance for reparations in modern times. I gotta go. So I don't know about Iran getting reparations.
This is my last word. They won't call it reparations, Tim, but they will give them money to rebuild the infrastructure that we blew up as part of this cease deal. When it comes down, they're going to agree to some monetary agreement, because if they don't do that, why would they ever agree, Tim? Why? Now, granted, they're not. They want us to move out of the region and all of that. That ain't going to happen.
Right.
That's not happening. But so they're going to meet somewhere in the middle, and part of meeting somewhere in the middle is going to come down to some compensation and agreement on the strait. By the way, the strait's still closed today.
Yeah.
By the way, so again,
it's a fucking mess. And right now, it's hard to say anybody's winning. But Mike, I got to move it on. What a fucking mess.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. By the way, tap the screen and get the likes on. Man, I need MAGA. I need to hear from some MAGA. My last two callers. God damn, that's bad. If any of that from Takesha or Mike is true, damn, is that horrible or what? Now, real quick before we go on to the next caller, and by the way, tap the screen, get the likes up. I need you folks on YouTube, smash that like button if you will, helps out the algorithm. We remain MAGA friendly. I know a lot of my guests sound very liberalist like today, but I need you guys to tap the screen. That's what brings in more MAGA on my YouTube. That's where the algorithm is set. So certainly on YouTube, smash that like button. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody on this program. You can be critical of anybody, as you've seen in the comments, including yours truly. We go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. The whole notion of the show is, who do you believe? With these videos, these Lego videos a lot of you folks have seen on social media about the Trump administration. Originally, they were like trolling the president. We didn't cover them much because they were just trolling the president. We get it. But now the videos are starting to tell stories. They're starting to make statements. And that's what provoked me to come on here and talk to you folks. Now, I played this earlier. It's a quick video, but I'm going to play the video, but I want you to hear the audio of it, because the lyrics are what we're discussing. Now, the reason I'm playing that, you hear it says 17, the name of this video is 17 Bases. And I talked about this earlier for some of you folks that have just filtered in. Some of the lyrics are what I'm concerned with. You said 13 dead. We know that's a lie. Hundreds in the dirt, Pentagon trying to hide. So they're indicating that we're being told 13 dead, which they say we know that's a lie. Hundreds in the, so they're indicating that they've killed hundreds of us. That's a heavy number. Hundreds. Additionally, and I don't know, like I said, I've made it clear, I don't know if I believe this. I've seen a lot of you folks in the comments suggest you do believe what Iran is saying. And Stevie D says, Tim over here promoting Islamic extremism. Lego videos, I've seen it all. You know, I do not buy into the notion that while we're at war with Iran, criticizing anything America does is automatically sympathizing with Iran. I don't buy into that. I understand that's the MAGA side of things, is that if you don't accept everything the Trump administration is saying at face value, then that means you're siding with Iran. No, both sides could be wrong. Both sides could be wrong. And we didn't do videos on these clips until they started telling the story. When they were just trolling Trump, I didn't really discuss it much on here. But now that there's stories in these videos, it is worthy of asking, shit, is this stuff true? Another set of bars coming out of that song, hundreds gone silent, families never told the truth. While you scream victory, we laugh at you. Indicating that hundreds of our servicemen and women have gone silent, meaning that they may be KIA. They may have been killed in action. Hundreds gone silent, families never told the truth, which is what you heard me ask my last caller about. Is it possible that we do have KIAs in this war and the Trump administration is just not passing it down to their families? Family members that may actually have soldiers serving in this conflict that have already been killed by Iran and their families have not been notified for some advantageous position on the Trump administration. I don't want to believe that whatsoever. I do not want to believe that. So I'm going to go to the box. Have they forgotten about the Nintendo video that Trump created? That's a good point. Trump blowing up Iranians and making jokes about it. Yeah, that is a good point. Let me go back to the box. This is the one, like I said, I clearly do not want to believe. Sexy Red, good evening.
Oh, golly, good. You just want to believe that white man so much. You like the white tea ding-a-ling, don't you?
So you got nothing about
you want to believe Trump so bad. Yes, you do. Quick, check your head.
This has not. Wait, hold on.
Check it out here.
This has nothing to do with wanting to believe a white man. I would want to believe any president that says they rescued a down American aviator.
No. I don't believe. Because let me tell you something. I believe what everybody else is saying. Because let me tell you something. Even in his so-called assassination, if that bullet touched his ear, it wouldn't be an ear there. You feel what I'm saying? Come on now. You motherfuckers are the stupidest. Have you ever seen an AR-15 hit somebody?
What about the possibility? Maybe it just nicked his ear.
There ain't no possibility. No, you could. Nick, are you for real? Have you seen those big ass bullets? Nick, for real? Oh my God, that cock really deep that throat on. You just like to believe that white man. Anything that white man says, yes, master, I believe you. I like your uncooked protein. Hell no.
I mean, shockwave or something of that nature. You genuinely believe, like my last callers, that President Trump may have faked an attempt on his life?
Yes, that mofo faked it. He wouldn't have an ear, you mofo. See, I know you ain't no thug. You probably never seen one of those damn pew-pews. You're like I swear to God, I don't know what God did to your ugly ass, but he sure did make you white. Because I'd be damned. You supposed to be a black man from Chicago, for God's sake.
This has nothing. This has nothing. Wait. This has. Hold on.
Let me tell you something. I'm from Ninth Ward. I'm from where they pew people, honey, and they have big pews, and I seen the bullet holes that goes with those pews. Yeah, honey. Yeah, that was such.
What about what in the comments? comment, Cedric Heine suggests that a 223 coming out of an AR is a small round.
It's not. Those bullets are not small. Not, and the hole ain't small. What are you talking about, Willis?
If it just nicks his ear.
No, Tim, even with the graze, with one of those pew-pews, you won't have an ear. It would take it out. Tim?
Hold on, hang on. Let me.
Yeah,
Let me hold on. Let me. I'm looking. I am going to take a moment to look at her. I'm looking at a round. I just, if this nicked my ear, I don't know. I have a hard time.
You're stupid, Tim. You're so up the white man's ass that you would believe anything. And if Trump told you one thing, you would believe it all the fucking way because you like that white cock up your ass without the lube. And I'm being honest with you, Tim. Yes, you like the uncooked protein. Stop it, Tim. Stop it. And you know it. Maybe I say it too much because you're doing it. AR, Tim, then you're not no thug. You're not no thug. You've never been in the streets. You're a white man that has black skin. Because I've been in the streets. I know what the fuck that can do. And I held one. And I pew-pewed one. So shut your ass up and stay back in your little white tea lane. Because you really don't know what the fuck.
What does having familiarity with firearms have to do with being in the streets?
Tim, the only ones that should know about the AR and shit is the military. But unfortunately, we have them in the streets, sweetheart. Do you really think that the people, the only one that has them? I have.
Hold on. There are a lot of law-abiding citizens.
Oh, shut up.
Hold on. There are. Listen.
Okay, I'm a law-abiding citizen. What the fuck?
There's a lot of.
I got one, and I pew-pewed one, and I seen the hole.
So what the hell does the streets have to do with what you're talking about?
Tim, I said the street. Tim, I swear to God, you ain't no. Shut up, Tim. Just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Stay in your white tea lane.
This has nothing to do with being white.
Look like a puppet. Because even, you know why it's in the streets? Because when we go pew-pewing somebody, we see the hole. Like when they say that when the white man says, oh, we use them to go on a fucking deer, then you won't have no damn deer meat. Do you see how stupid you sound like?
You're telling me, wait, first of all, you're telling me that if an AR is used to take down a deer, you won't have any deer meat. Did you say something that ridiculous?
No meat. It tears it up.
No, it does not. Hell no.
Oh my. Yes, it does. For God. You know what, Tim? I swear to God, you're just the most dumbest. You're a muppet. I swear to God, I can't even go. You're a puppet. Puppet. Yes, master. Puppet. You like that white cock?
Okay, let me make sure.
I like dingling. Okay?
Let me make sure for the audience. She is suggesting that if you hunt a deer with an AR, it will tear the meat up and there won't be any deer left.
It makes a big asshole. Yes, it does. It tears up. Because you know what? It don't just sit in one spot. It goes ding, 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 all through your damn body. Ding, 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 ding. It don't just sit there. It's like ding, 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 ding. It bounces off you, numbnut.
All right. Okay. I think that you're confusing.
Because let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something about my fucking ass, okay? Okay? My husband was a Marine. He knew how to walk into a room without you even knowing. He scared the fuck out of me. Okay, I'm his damn wife. But he taught me how to pew-pew. He taught me how to pew-pew an AR. He taught me how to pew-pew a black Glock. He taught me what the bullets do. It don't just sit there. And then let me tell you about the so-called story about the so-called the pilot. You're not supposed to leave the area. He cannot leave the area.
What the fuck? You are absolutely wrong. If a pilot is down, you're wrong. You're wrong.
No, they have a ding-ding. They got a ding-ding in them, and nobody can know it but them. Yes, it can, and they cannot turn. They get.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me that if a pilot is shot down, they're not supposed to leave the area where they got shot down there?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they don't text and tell them shit. They don't.
Okay.
And then the only time they do is go hide. They don't just go walk 100 miles. That was stupid.
Well, you want to get out of the area. You want to get out of the area for your safety. Real quick,
No,
hold on.
you go hide, Tim.
Well,
to walk.
damn right.
Miles.
In the comments, under Obama, they weren't collecting a toll on her moose. That is true, Jay said. I apologize for being late to your comment. Apparently, Trump is talking about making a deal with the Iranians so they both can collect tolls, which is crazy. But
it's all about money, Tim. This white tea man don't give a damn about us. Since he's been out, he's making billions. A fake Bible, now coins, now every damn thing else. This war wasn't about us, about our safety.
Well, wait a minute.
The damn minerals.
Wait a minute. The claim is that, and this ain't just coming from Obama, all of the presidents have suggested that Iran does not need to be allowed to get a nuke. Trump does something about it, and now he's wrong? Can you explain that?
If Trump didn't want nuke, they wouldn't have touched this shit.
What? Okay, you're going in and out. I think you may have a bad signal. But we've had a lot of presidents. I think every one of them in our lifetime has suggested that we cannot let Iran obtain a nuclear weapon. Trump decided to do something about it. How does that make Trump wrong? Okay, apparently she has a bad signal or something, so we'll move it on. Well, Gangsta Grandma, you were going in and out. She got a bad signal, all right, says Gunther. Did he really do anything? He gave away more than the Obama plan. Well, according to Trump, their efforts to get another to obtain nuclear weapons has been obliterated. Set back the program years, decades. That's what the Trump administration is saying. Anyway, I'll go back to the box. And go back to the comments. Trump making a plan. Wait a minute. Trump making a plea to Iran. And that's the other song. We won't go into that right now, but I do want to play that video as time goes on. I need you folks on YouTube in particular, smash that like button, help out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA as well. We'll go back to the box. And by the way, we're here most weekdays if you favor uncensored dialogue from all sides of the aisle. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone, as you may be able to tell. If you favor uncensored dialogue, follow the program if you're currently watching us live on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack. If you're watching us live on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. Why Iran can't have nuclear missiles, but Israel can, says Wayne. Couple reasons. The reason we're selling to the free world is that they won't be responsible with them. They'll do something irresponsible and allegedly likely take out a bunch of innocent people with the weaponry. That's what we're being told. The other reason is obvious. We won't have as much control in the region if the players all become nuclear member nations. That's the same reason we were suggesting we didn't want Iraq to have a weapon of mass destruction. If they all start getting weapons of mass destruction, that will greatly weaken our influence in the region. So my opinion, that has more to do with it probably than the idea that they're going to turn into some rogue nation and start dropping bombs on everybody. I believe it's that we don't want them to have equal influence in their region. Because listen, they got one of the most precious and valuable resources on earth under their thumb. If they were able to control it without American influence, they would become significantly more richer and powerful, and we would become less. Looking in the comments, Trump has the nuclear codes. That is true. That is true. We messed over Iran in 1953. Well, 2026, you can add that to it probably. Then maybe he shouldn't have ran over there and tore up the Obama deal that we already had. He convinced enough Americans that deal was stupid and that Obama was giving Iranians piles of cash. They weren't meeting the obligations. And enough of them voted Trump in to tear that deal up. So we'll go with that. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 65,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Some of you folks can help your boy out with the hat and mustache TikTok cap goals. That would be greatly appreciated. He has convinced himself out of hate, says King Fan. You saying our president has hate in his heart? Yikes. He wrote down the codes with his Sharpie. Oh my God. Man, what the hell is you talking about? We don't have no strong influence. We dealing with nobody. Everybody Trump dealing with either fucks over them. There is no country trying to help a something. I don't get what you're saying about that. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 65,000. We'll take the next caller at 65,000. And like I said, I want to get some MAGA in here. I'm really interested to hear the other side of this because some of this stuff is nothing short of shocking. We'll go to Kobe's girl. Good evening, Kobe's girl. Welcome to the program. Good evening. Okay, apparently my caller is involved in something else there. Did we even get the 65,000 yet? Tap the screen, get the likes up. This is what it feels like to debate a MAGA Republican, left MAGA. Well, who is the MAGA Republican that you're debating with? Let me know. Israel is where Jesus is actually going to return in the last days to defend Israel. You really believe that's what's going to happen? I'll leave it at that. I'm not religious enough to get into that conversation. But help your boy out with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes get us up to 65,000. Looking in the comments, MAGA is in their bunkers, huh? Don't know what that means. If you watch the video about Trump letting a Russian boat of oil go to Cuba, he grits his teeth. I don't know what it is about Russia, but Trump doesn't have a lot of negativity to say about Russia at all. I mean, it's like Russia. You would almost tend to think that Russia has something on Trump. They haven't ended the war with the Ukrainians. They're allegedly, or not even, I won't even say allegedly, because the Trump administration has admitted they're helping out the Iranians in that war. So the Russians are helping out the Iranians. They're not backing down on the Ukrainians. And yet Trump still, for the most part, speaks favorably of Putin in Russia. It's as if he has some type of blackmail or something on Trump. I don't get it. I do not understand that. Remember all of the notion that Venezuela and Maduro was mistreating his people? The Ayatollah was mistreating their people. We had to do something. You think Putin is treating his people with freedom and democracy? You don't hear Trump say anything about that. Keep in mind, during Trump's first term, he negotiated with the Taliban to put them back in power in Afghanistan. You think the Taliban is all about freedom and democracy? He doesn't seem to care about that. So the Iranian citizens' concern doesn't make sense. And keep in mind, when Trump stated the other day that we have a 2-week ceasefire, there's a list of bullet points of what Iran must do to maintain that ceasefire. Trump made no mention in those bullet points about human rights toward the Iranian people. There is no mention of they must stop oppressing their people, stop killing protesters, or any mention of how they must treat the Iranian citizens. Was not even in there. So they could maintain a ceasefire with the United States, and there is no request or demand that they treat their people any better. So I want to make sure you guys understand it for folks who thought we were going in there to some way, somehow rescue protesters. Trump didn't even demand they do that. In the ceasefire, it's not even in there. Let me go back to the box. We'll try it again. This time we're going to handsome conservative. I think we got a conservative in here. I do want to hear from some of you folks because some huge accusations. Cosmic, shout out to you. Appreciate the support of the show. Cosmic Adams, thank you. Conservative, good evening.
Don Knotts, that's how we end the war. Listen to me. That man was so badass that he only carried one bullet. And he didn't even have to put it in his gun. You want to talk the hood? Please make me laugh. Don Knotts.
Well,
American badass.
Gangster Grandma suggests that I'm not from the streets because I'm something she was saying wow like that. But
Don Knotts is from the street, all right? One bullet in his pocket, didn't even have to have it in his gun. That's gangster.
What Don Knotts on Three's Company?
Don Knotts was, but I'm talking Barney Fife, dude.
I know that, but did he play Mr. Furley or something like that?
No, he might have been.
Yeah, I think Don Knotts was.
It was after the first guy left. He came in and replaced the original landlord.
Yeah, I think Don Knotts was Mr. Furley. But he wore some of the most special clothing that any man has ever seen. But let me ask you this. Did you hear early in the program some of the
he wants because he had one bullet in his pocket and nobody messed with him.
Okay. I don't know where to go with that. But have you seen some of these Lego videos floating around on social media coming from the Iran government?
Man. Yes. I've seen the Lego videos. What do you expect, man? They're losing. Of course they're going to put up propaganda. If we wanted to end this war right now, we could do it. We're not going to.
How would we do it? How would we do it? If we wanted to end it right now, what would we do?
Drop a bomb.
One bomb.
Just one.
What kind of bomb? Are you talking about an atomic weapon?
The bomb. Just one. If this was really about ending the war, we could do it. I'm not saying we should, but we could.
Let me push back and say this. Even if we wanted to end the war really badly, we wouldn't do that, because once America drops an atomic bomb on Iran, they open up the way for North Korea to use one, Russia to use one on Ukraine, China to use one on Taiwan. Once we do that, Pandora's box is open. So even if we really did want to end the war in the method you suggested, we still wouldn't do it, because we don't want to allow the rest of the world to do it too.
You know that they make those bombs so small now, I kid you not, that you could carry one in a suitcase.
Yeah. And
now, I'm not suggesting that we drop a nuke. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you could carry one in a suitcase. Dude, sooner or later, whether it's in America, in Iran, or somewhere, some crazy motherfucker's going to set off a nuke. That's all I'm saying.
I don't, the crazy thing is, for the likes of me, I've only heard what you just said coming primarily from Americans and Netanyahu. The rest of the world don't talk like this. That there's going to be somebody that's going to drop. It's mostly America and Israel that's saying that. Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe we're just smarter than they are. I'm telling you, somebody somewhere is going to do it. I don't know what country, I don't know where or when, but I'm telling you, they're small enough to get in and out, and you don't have to put them on rockets anymore.
Is it possible? Is it possible that Israel and America continues this belief? Is because they are by far in more countries' business than anybody else? When you're constantly trying to tell folks what to do, trying to police the world, you do put yourself in a predicament where if somebody was going to drop a bomb like that, you most likely would be the person they do it to, because you're involved in everybody's business. Maybe that may have something to do with why America and Israel continue suggesting somebody's going to do that.
Look, like I said, I'm just saying there are a lot of crazy motherfuckers out there running a bunch of countries, North Korea, Iran, you name it. I mean, there's a lot of crazy motherfuckers out there, and don't think Iran's not trying to get a nuke. Of course they're going to get
it. Would you not, if you were constantly under the thumb of the United States, would you not be trying to do the same?
Fair enough, but let me ask you this. After what we let North Korea get away with, letting them arm themselves with nuclear weapons, wouldn't it make more sense to put a stop to it with Iran instead of having one crazy motherfucker? We now have two. The answer is not letting them get nukes. I'm not saying to drop a nuke, but you can't keep letting them get nukes. That's just crazy.
Here's what I don't get, and this is going to really sound like I'm sympathizing with the Iranians, but I don't understand.
You already do.
Well, fair enough. I don't understand how we can keep threatening or suggesting that they're sponsors of terrorism, or as you put it, they're the crazy motherfuckers, when we're the ones that are going around the planet getting involved in conflicts all the time. We're the ones that are always at war, not them. We're the ones that are always bombing folks. We just threatened Greenland. We're attacking Iran, and we already have stated that Cuba is on deck. How the hell do they come out looking like the bad guys when we are actively doing that?
We just wait a minute. I'm sorry. I want to go back to the beginning of that. We just threatened Greenland.
We threatened to take
When did that
Greenland.
happen?
Yeah, we threatened to take Greenland into NATO, put troops on that island to tell us we're going to fight back.
Oh,
So then we went to Iran.
Okay.
We went to Iran, and now we're talking about Cuba's next. What has Iran did to compare to that?
Well, dude, just look up their past. Look up the history of Iran. Look up at the crazy shit that they have done. I mean, I don't have a computer next to me, but dude, man, they got a history of nothing but crazy. You want to talk about America? Okay, we got some crazy people, but Iran, holy fuck, dude, they kill people for looking the wrong way.
I don't know how we don't see that happening here.
Dude, you think we're hard on people that are LGBTQ? They kill them. They throw them off buildings. You think that we're hard? You think we're hard on transgender people? That shit doesn't exist there. It isn't allowed. I mean, dude, as bad as we are, they are so much worse. Look it up. It's online.
Here's where I push back and say I don't know if I totally agree with you. Now, we obviously don't throw LGBTQ people off buildings and things like that you're suggesting, but we do fund them. We do work with them. The Taliban does stuff like that. Trump negotiated with the Taliban and put them back in power. So how do we get to separate ourselves from the folks who do crazy shit like that when we regularly fund and work with them?
That's a good question. The government does a lot of things I don't understand. Government does a lot of things I don't agree with. But I will tell you this, as crazy as we do things, as crazy as we are, they're a lot more crazy, dude. I don't have all the answers. If I did, I would be honest with you. But I don't have all the answers. I don't agree with.
I don't see the quote unquote lot more crazy as you're talking about. Because if I'm doing crazy shit and you're knowingly providing me with weapons or influence to commit the crazy acts, I don't see how you get to say, well, I'm doing more crazy shit than you are.
Are you saying we provided Iran with weapons? Because I didn't know that.
Well, first of all, I think everybody believes we provided Iraq with the weapons of mass destruction we talked about them having. We were behind that.
Okay. I apologize. My bad. I thought you were talking about Iran.
No, I'm talking about providing the perceived evil countries you're mentioning with the ability to commit evil acts. A lot of them are getting their ability and power from the United States. I just mentioned the Taliban.
And you're saying we gave the Taliban weapons? I thought we
gave the Taliban their country back. After when Trump got in office, he negotiated with the Taliban to put them back in power in Afghanistan, which they are right now. And a lot of women in the Taliban during that whole war, the women were starting to gain equality and freedom. They were starting to learn how to drive. They were starting to learn how to read and go to schools. They were starting to open businesses and things. Once Trump gave that country back to the Taliban, they went right back to the oppression, and women have been put right back in their place again. That happened from Trump.
Well, look, maybe we got what we needed out of being in Iraq. I don't know. I don't know what it was that we went over there for. I know that that Trump didn't put us in that. Trump took us out. Maybe there was no more reason for us to be over there. I mean, I
get that, but what I'm saying is you didn't hear him crying out about regime change. You put the bad guy back in power again. So when the bad guy does things wrong to its citizens, we get to say the bad guy would not be in place if it wasn't for us.
Well, if you ask me, if you want to put them side by side, Trump and Taliban and Iran, I say we come out a distant third because the other two, like you said, they're fucking crazy as hell.
I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is we are far too involved in promoting evil to be calling it out. A lot of the evil countries on this planet would not be in position to do what they're doing without the aid and assistance of the United States. I'll give you a perfect example. Many people on the planet believe that Israel has went way too far in Gaza. They wouldn't be able to do that without America. We are literally the one that is complacent in that.
Those people clearly don't understand that Israel and Iran are going to be going at it for years.
I said Gaza.
It doesn't matter. Or Gaza. Oh, Gaza.
Yeah, Gaza is
fucking crazy. Hold on, let me hang up. Gaza fucking crazy, dude, that no other country wanted them. Nobody would.
What does that got to do with bombing them to the Stone Age, though?
They had a shit ton of land. Every time Israel gave in to them, they would attack Israel. They kept losing the land because they kept attacking Israel. Israel was defending itself.
So you believe what Israel has been doing in Gaza for the last 3 years or so has been nothing short of self-defense. That's what that's been, self-defense.
I think what Israel has done to Gaza is take out the trash. Nobody else wanted them. Not even Iran would take them, dude. How bad do you got to be for Iran not to take you?
What do you mean? They don't need to be taken, handsome. They got their own. What do you mean taken? They don't need to be taken. They have their own country.
They don't anymore.
Why not?
Because they fucked around and found out.
Everybody in that country
attacking Israel. They kept attacking Israel. Dude, they kept going in. They kept attacking Israel. They kept launching rockets into Israel. They kept going into towns and taking people out of their homes. Come on, man.
Okay.
Those people are just evil. Oh, I love this. Please be gangster.
That ain't gangster, Grandma. This one has a lot more receipts than gangster. I don't see him in a holding pattern. I wanted to bring him up. That is Mike. Mike, you got a request. I don't see it. But that is Mike. That ain't gangster grandma this time. So you may be biting off more than you can chew.
I earned you a galaxy, man. You're welcome.
Thank you. I don't see him in there though. I was trying to bring him up. But I'll tell you something. I don't understand how we can point out terrorism and evil and then make it sound like when we do it, it's justified. Austin Corner says, any thoughts on Melania's press conference? No, I didn't hear it because it was going on while I was getting prepared. So I didn't hear her press conference. But Mike,
what does she have a press conference of?
I couldn't. I had the audio turned down. I saw it on News Nation, so I didn't hear exactly what it was about, though. Mike, good evening. Welcome back.
What's going on? What's going on, handsome conservative? How are you, sir?
I am doing good. Give me hell, man. You popped that galaxy.
No, I'm not going to give you. First of all, I appreciate whether I don't. There's a lot of things that you say that I don't agree with, and there's some things you say that I do agree with. But when we're talking about the United States and we're talking about Iran, and I'm not saying that what happens there or how there's things that they do within their country that I don't agree with. But to say that the United States is somehow above it all is crazy. But I wanted to bring up something specifically. Because I remember when this war first started, people were talking about the humanitarian crisis and how they were unaliving thousands of protesters, right?
It said 60,000 protesters had been killed in Iran. Yeah,
How many?
I heard some say 30, some said as high as 60,000 protesters were killed in Iran by the Ayatollah.
Right. And so here's what I would say. There's a question for you, handsome conservative. If we make a decision as a country and we know the result of that decision is going to unalive people, do you believe that we in that moment are responsible for those people that were unalive?
If we made a decision, could you repeat that just one more time? Seriously, I've had trouble.
No, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. If we make a decision knowing what the outcome will be, and the outcome will be that people will unalive, are we responsible for those unalivements at that time?
Yeah, that's a part of war.
No, I'm not even talking about war, but I'm glad that you said that. Since Donald Trump has been in office and Elon Musk cut off USA aid, humanitarian aid, there have been studies that have shown that over 600,000 people have lost their lives based to a direct decision that the U.S. made not to provide aid that we've been providing for over 20 years. 600,000 to other countries.
Yeah, like providing wheat, providing medical supplies to, you know, dilapidated or third world countries and stuff like that.
Yeah. You know, whether that so, and that's true. And I can actually pull it up if you'd like to see it. But
no, I'll take your word for it, man. I'll take your word for it. Go ahead.
So when Trump came into office and Elon Musk took over, they started cutting funding. And they targeted USAA, and they went on this waste, fraud, and abuse, and Sesame Street, and all that crap they were talking about. Well, what they didn't tell you was that funding was going to cut off medical research for HIV and polio and all and malaria and all these things that these other countries rely on us to provide them aid, or they will face certain unalivement. 2/3 of those 600,000 were children. So when we start talking about what other countries are doing in their countries that are harming their people, we cannot obfuscate the United States, this administration specifically, for making decisions that they know will unalive people. And that's not even including the big beautiful bill, which economists said we would lose X amount of lives per year by cutting those social services, Medicaid, Medicare, daycare, etc., health benefits, all of that stuff. So we're not in a position to look at another country and tell them what they're doing wrong when we're really conducting the same thing. And by the way, Israel has committed war crimes as well. Netanyahu has an open warrant out.
Hey, look, first of all, let's get on Netanyahu for a second, because you that was the last thing you said. First of all, I don't like the guy. I never liked the guy. I don't like the government, but I do like the people. And I do believe, like I have said 100,000 times, in supporting Israel, meaning to protect their borders. That's what I stand for. As far as the leader of Israel, as far as I'm concerned, he's another crooked politician. We're not going to argue about that.
Okay.
And again, with all that being said, we have to have some conservative. We have to be accountable. And if you notice, this is, for me, we're not talking about parties. We're talking about actions, and we're talking about accountability. And so when this conflict started, like when I was down in the comments a little while ago, when Tim was talking, and he played the video, the music, and and I got you. And people were pushing back on on making that video. But 3 weeks ago, Donald Trump and his administration were posting a video with a Nintendo showing us boom booming all over it, and they didn't have a problem with that.
And I will interrupt and say that's a good point that Mike is making there, Hanson Conservative. When we talk about other countries doing acts of terror and things like that, literally making videos and comedy about killing people. That's something we are doing right now. Does that, because you talked about folks doing crazy shit. Handsome Conservative, do you view that as crazy shit that our government is literally making comical videos about killing people?
I think it's crazy that either side is doing it.
We're talking about our government.
You're saying America. You're saying is it crazy for America?
We're supposed to be the good guys. We're supposed to be the good guys. Now when we do bad shit, well, the other side's doing it too. So what are we? We at their level now is what you're saying.
Well, you got to be at their level.
No, you don't.
If you're going to fight them, you have to be.
You're telling me we have to.
You have to take them out. You're not going to be the bigger.
So we have to make video. We have to make
and take them out.
So we have to make cartoon videos of killing them. That's something we have to do.
Well, I don't know about the cartoon videos. You showed me.
That's what I asked you.
I believe it was 3 days ago, I believe it was, and you said it was from the White House.
No, the video says it's from the White House. The video says it's from the White House.
Fine. Okay, and I will give that to you. That video was probably tasteless. I'm going to give that to you.
Okay.
All right. I'm not disputing the video, but I'm saying right now we are at war. Right. That's what this is. We're not actually in a ceasefire. There's nobody stopped shooting yet. We got to come down to their level. We got to get it done.
Here's what I don't get. When we attack them, if they didn't attack us, we went over there and attacked them. We are at war. When they come over here like 9/11 or something like that and attack us, it's a terror. No, they're at war too. They view it as being at war. For some reason, when they take the first strike, it's not an act of war, it's an act of terror. But when we take the first strike, it's an act of war. You don't see how you're kind of framing that differently?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question. Either one of you. I don't care.
I'll let Mike continue. I'm eating this time, but go ahead.
All right. If they come over here and attack us, they're standing with their country, right? They're supporting their country. They're attacking who they think is their enemy, right?
They're at war. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay. That's what we're doing.
But the difference is, though,
we're attacking our enemy. We're attacking their country. We're doing the same thing.
Right.
So if it's okay for them, then why is it not okay for us?
Well, I will challenge that and say, if that's the case, then we are the terrorists that we call them.
It's the same thing, right?
We're going to have to disagree on that.
I don't know why.
I respect your opinion, but
yeah, but let me. But what you said was, if they're doing it to us, then how come we can't do it to them? But we call them terrorists when they do it to us. So
right,
we should.
They attacked us first,
but they didn't, though. See, this is the problem.
9/11 wasn't them.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't them.
Wasn't Iran? No.
Had nothing to do with it. It wasn't them at all. But here's the thing. Even if that were the case, when that happened, we didn't go attack. Even if I gave you that, which is not true, we didn't go attack Iran. We went over to Iraq and Afghanistan. So what I'm saying to you is this. If you can come to the conclusion, I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I know our time is running short, and I appreciate you letting me up to speak. If we can come to the conclusion that what they're doing to us is terrorism, we cannot equivocate that they believe we're being the terrorists to them. Because once we do that, we're trying to lift ourselves to a standard that we're trying to lift ourselves above the fray, but we're doing the same thing. I'm gonna say this last thing before I drop, Tim. When this war started, we were in peace talks with them. We were in the middle of negotiations when they bombed. Now, you can say whether Israel did it or we did it, which you're not supposed to do. That's a war crime. And all the time that we're doing this, we're trying to continue to demonize them. Well, the children, what they're doing to their people. But you notice how fast we moved on from the 200 and some odd young girls that were unalived in that school. We've moved on like we didn't do that. We would never move on from that if they did that here. We would be having flags at every stadium on TV. We would be in never forget mode, but we don't consider their lives as valuable. So I'm saying that I'm not a sympathizer of Iran at all, but I want to bring levity to the fact that we want to justify the same actions for our reasons, and then we dismiss theirs.
Can I say two things to him?
All right, Mike. Appreciate it, Mike. Thank you. Go ahead. You can rebut to him. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say two things. First of all, I respect that he came up to talk to me. I may not agree with it, but he's got my respect. He came up and he
Before you go into your points, I don't understand what you don't agree with. I'm curious as to what you don't agree with. Go ahead.
And the second thing is, well, fuck, I forgot the second thing. Blonde moment. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm 53, dude. But listen, I'm going on 54 this month, so I'm allowed to forget. But listen, look, the bottom line to me is this war's got to come to an end. And I'm going to stay with our country, man. Right or wrong.
Nothing wrong with that.
We got to do what we got to do to end that. We got to end the war. And I'm not saying to drop a nuke or anything. Don't get me wrong. I was using that as an example. But we got to end the war. And I still don't believe in carpet bombing. I know we don't agree on that.
We do agree carpet bombing is bad.
The second thing was I wanted to say to him was I was the first person that I know of to come on your show and to bring up the fact that that school full of girls had gotten hit And I admitted up front that was wrong, that school full of girls got hit. I want to go on record as saying that is one thing that I do agree with them about. We had no business hitting a school full of girls. If that was us. I mean, it was us or Israel, but it was one of us.
Yeah.
Support your local liberal, and I'm out.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And he is right. Support your local liberal. Hat mustache, TikTok cap go. You absolutely can do that. Support the show. But what we were going back and forth on, and I do believe he properly represents the conservative side of the aisle. Giant robot. Thank you for the hat mustache. I do believe his mindset in regards to elite, because everything handsome conservative says he's not hardcore pro MAGA, but he is a conservative. I do believe what he said represents a conservative point of view that I often phrase as our shit don't stink. In other words, there are things we do. Thank you, New Vision. Yeah, appreciate the hat mustache. Thank you very much, sir. There are certainly things that we do to other nations that we justify, knowing damn well if somebody did it to us, we would call it an act of terrorism, which is what I told him when he was up here, how he said, things happen during war. When America attacked Iran, we call it a war. When they attack us, it's called terrorism, meaning that we legitimize our attacks on them. There's reasons to go to war. Terrorism sounds like something there is never a reason to do. Terrorism sounds offensive. It's like an offensive act that's designed to just maim and kill a bunch of innocent people. So anytime they launch an attack, it's terrorism. But when we launch an attack, it's war to defend, for self-defense or something of that nature. It's the wording of it. Because I would submit to you, there's a good chance that Bin Laden, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, all of them thought when they were attacked, limited their way of life, interfere with a lot of things they do. Religion and all of that shit. They likely view it as war. They perhaps view what we're doing to them as an act of terrorism. For instance, you heard Trump talk about, and tap the screen, we'll go to the next caller, tap the screen, get us up to 85,000, if you will. Let your thumbs not be lazy. You often hear about all of the acts, quote unquote, acts of terrorism that Iran has done to America. Trump goes all the way back to the Iranian hostage scandal in 79, the bombing of the barracks in Beirut. He brings all that up, USS Cole, etc. You don't hear any mention of us shooting down an Iranian airliner that happened. That's in there. We shot down an Iranian airliner full of innocent people and just called it a mistake. Do you think the Iranians believed it was a mistake? That's in there. You don't hear any mention of that. If you talk to the Iranians, they can bring up stories of how we've been murdering their people. But if you listen to the U.S. side of it, it's just we're going about business and these folks just keep finding reasons to hit us and kill us. So I do want to understand, folks, to understand there are two sides to the story. Looking in the Constitution, looking in the comments, wow. Dark Side Rider says, Tim, good afternoon. I want to say to the handsome conservative and Mr. Iron Mike, that was the most peaceful political debate I have seen. I love peaceful talk that we are having. I don't normally get those, but that was a very peaceful exchange between the two gentlemen. That was a very peaceful exchange. Hopefully we can get more of those. We'll go back to the box. I didn't say our shit don't stink, says handsome. No, you didn't. I'm saying that. I am saying I believe that America tends to think that our shit don't stink. Did you not hear Rubio the other day? I played the clip. I don't know if I still have it queued up. Perfect example. If I have it, I may have moved. No, I got it. I want you to hear this. This is what I mean by the definition.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Of our shit don't stink. No, I'm not going to bring it because I don't know where it's queued up in the video. I thought this was, but he made the notion or made the statement that if Iran was doing more to help its own people as opposed to buying weapons, the country would be a much better place. As if America's not doing the same damn thing. Trump right now is asking for $1 trillion for the U.S. military. He's not talking about doing things for poor people. He's talking about cutting programs that help out the downtrodden in this country. And here Marco Rubio is on television talking about if Iran did more to help its people I mean, they're literally the same shit. Our shit don't stink. We do this all the time. So that's what I'm talking about there. But no, I'm not saying you handsome conservatives. I didn't say our shit don't stink. I just believe that we're defending ourselves and our way of life. Well, that is our shit don't stink statement, though. You just believe we're defending ourselves and our way of life. What do you think they believe? That's exactly what they think they're doing, is defending themselves and their way of life. Remember, we're in their neck of the woods. They're not here. Iran is not in the Western Hemisphere. Iraq wasn't in the Western Hemisphere. Hamas is not over here. We're over there. So we're in their neck of the woods telling them, you're interfering with our, if you just go home to where you belong, wouldn't be any clash. Wouldn't be any clashing. You're in our area. Now we got a problem with Israel, they might say. And here you are defending Israel. Israel's not even a member of NATO. So, yeah, I think it really is a case of our shit don't stink. We're in their region doing shit, not the other way around. Going back to the box, are we at 85,000? Yes, we are. Let me go straight back to the box and we'll make it happen with Andy. Good evening, Andy. Welcome to the program. What am I getting wrong, Andy?
Well, nothing, because I've always said that about, like, when other countries send over religions here to, preach, a lot of the churches call them theists. But when they send out Christians to other countries, what do they call them?
Christians. Yeah. I mean, you got a good point, because right now there's this big deal in Dearborn, Michigan. They have this prayer bell that goes off at 5 a.m, and folks are saying they're trying to take over the whole damn town.
Mm-hmm. Alabama has one Islamic school, and Tommy Tuberville is trying to shut it down. It's Islamophobia, but they don't want to admit that, because then they just want to wipe out anybody that don't look like them. Same age-old story over and over and over again.
So let me ask you, because this is the topic of the
show. You gotta be nice to me today. It's my birthday, so don't push back on me too hard.
Happy birthday! I'll see what I can do. If we generally are nice to all of our guests. We're a very nice program here. Nothing but peace and harmony here. So let me ask you: have you seen some of these Lego videos about Trump floating around?
There's a couple, like the one that says that we actually didn't have a down plane. We were there to steal something that didn't belong to us. Have you seen that one?
Yes. Do you believe that, though?
Well, let me put it this way. They've actually followed the rules of engagement. They've actually back-channeled us and done the things they were supposed to do. It is us who's not following the rules, and Trump lies like he's breathing. By the way, do you know that the supreme leader of Iran is not even awake?
Well,
hasn't been for days.
So what is he, in a coma or something?
Yeah, in a hospital.
That's believable. We were already speculating that he might be dead because you haven't heard from him.
He got hit 4 days ago. He's in the hospital. They're not saying he's not going to make it, though.
So he's gotten hit again since he was with his parents and when they got killed. He's been hit again.
Yeah.
Wow. That's probably Israel. Israel, I don't care where you at, Israel will find your ass. Israel is really good at killing people. Nobody beats Israel. Ain't my problem. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeah, Israel is really good at doing that.
I don't know if you saw Mr. Global's video about how their armies work. They have a mosaic army. Like literally there are 30 different armies. So if you defeat one, you haven't done anything because the next one's just stepping in.
This is Iran?
And they're all run by,
This is Iran you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't heard
they all have different heads. And it's set up that way so you can't eliminate their fighting forces. And they only answer to the supreme leader or the next supreme leader. So currently there's nobody to tell them to stop.
So what do you end up having a divided nation?
She's right, true. So we're only negotiating with the Security Council.
So when Trump says he's negotiating ceasefires and all these deals, you're saying it's really an empty statement.
Yeah.
Wow.
We bluster and act like we're like Donald Trump made that statement while he was in a coma about we're going to annihilate your civilization. Yeah, you know.
Wow. And I see in the comments, Dencal says never mention the install of the Shah for oil. It's in one of those Lego videos. Before we continue, Andy, Mr. G says MAGA and Trump ain't shit. Says if you ask how bad the war is going, they are talking about Epstein again. Where the fuck did Melania come from with her bullshit? Nobody asked. That is what her press conference was about. I did see that. Melania Trump.
Oh, that's crazy too, because she forgets we have photos of them partying together.
Yeah.
We know. Like, she can stand there and lie all day. This is why the Trump administration, nobody believes them. When you lie to people every day and you keep getting caught over and over and over, then why shouldn't we believe Iran?
Yeah. I think this could have been dealt with a lot more appropriately if Trump just left it up to the experts to tell the American people what's going on in Iran and things like that. It's a lot of the lying you're talking about. It's his statements. You know, they've been obliterated. They don't have any air defenses. Then they're shooting down jets and shit. Just get off TV. Get off the television. Let somebody else do that.
Have you seen how many generals and heads he's fired now? It's like 10 or 15. All the grown-ups in the room are gone.
Why do you think this happened?
The Army guy was the last guy that was he's fired like part of the Navy, part of the Marine. Like, if you go run down the list, it's astounding of how much military knowledge he kicked out the door.
Why do you believe they are terminating so much knowledge in the middle of a war? What would be the purpose of that?
Because they don't want anybody to tell them no, and they know what they're doing is not right.
So what is it like?
We are threatening civilians daily. We are acting like these people don't matter. Who the fuck are we? I mean, our arrogance and our American exceptionalism has gone way too far. People run around this country going, they deserve it. They don't deserve this.
A lot of people believe they deserve it. And my last guest said, we're just defending ourselves.
No, we're not. He mentioned, they didn't do 9/11. No, that was Saudi Arabia. You know, the one Trump's so buddy with and does all the deals. That's who that was.
Yeah. And he was found, and Bin Laden was found hiding in Pakistan. So those countries don't even get mentioned.
No. And we went after Iraq for a wrong reason. And I wish they would quit saying it wrong. We don't say Itali. It's Iran. Not Iran.
Iran, they say, I mean, look, tomato. I get it, but
it's Iran. Like, can we at least, if you're going to demonize the people, at least learn how to say their fucking country's name?
How about this one, though? Considering your politics, Mr. Bean in the comments says, is this Candace Owens? Have you ever been confused with Candace Owens?
No, and bless his little heart. Bless his heart.
Oh my God!
Child. I don't know what to say about him.
But you know, that actually is coming.
I say things that I can look. You can verify what I say. It don't give them warm fuzzies like what Donald Trump says when he lies to them. And I got news for you. What was this garbage he said the other day about we only have money for wars in the military? We can't do daycare, child care, Medicare, and your states need to raise taxes on you. He literally came out and said the states need to raise taxes. Republicans didn't say boo.
Yeah, to me, that is the one thing that I do not understand why they're favoring the taking, because a lot of Republicans favor taking Greenland. They favor what he's doing in Iran. They favor Cuba. They favor Venezuela. I don't get where the America First is in any of this stuff. When he ran on America First and he's doing this stuff in all these other international spots. And you're right, the Republican Party is like, yay, let's go international. I don't get that.
Yeah, especially since he ran on No New Wars. And they were all like, we don't have money for this. I don't want my money to go to that. All of a sudden, they're all in. And by the way, did you see what happened at the Panama Canal on that same day?
No.
On Wednesday, an unidentified explosion happened.
At the Panama Canal?
They haven't verified what happened, but it wasn't a little explosion. It was a big explosion under the bridge.
Any speculation on what that may have been?
Coincidental.
You said what?
I think that's very coincidental.
Well, Trump has indicated he would like to take the Panama Canal back. That was part of his original threats.
Well, I'm not sure it was us or Iran, but do you realize 2.8 million barrels of oil flow through the Panama Canal?
Oh, you mean it could be a terroristic attack, a terroristic threat to keep the price of oil high?
You want, one straight shut the Panama Canal. Like, we don't know. I'm just speculating. And on this, I'm truly speculating. We don't have enough evidence. I just found it to be highly suspicious.
Wow.
It's very coincidental that it happened on the day that Trump was threatening to eliminate a whole civilization.
I would think the Suez Canal would be something they would go for first, because they actually have, participants in the region. They want to shut down a major thoroughfare. The Panama Canal would be big. There's no denying that. That would be big.
I just thought it was very coincidental. It just, that should happen on the same day just struck me as odd.
No shit.
Especially when Donald Trump's still talking about how they built an airport to go rescue one guy. That whole story don't make sense.
So you too, Takesha got up here and said that the whole...
That don't make no sense. And then he marched 100 miles and climbed up in the mountains. Like, make that make sense. Like, that whole lie don't work. Like, the more I think about it, the more fucked up that is. Yeah, I absolutely believe we were up there stealing uranium. Or trying to.
I know the guy isn't always 100% honest, but some of this stuff, I do want to believe President Trump. I don't want to believe he would lie about a down pilot, Andy. I don't want to believe he would lie about a down aviator, a down pilot.
He doesn't care about the military. If he did, he wouldn't be talking about them like, oh, y'all need to sign up. Like when that draft thing came out, that everybody's going to sign up for the draft, he was all gung-ho. I wonder why.
My God.
And he's talking about having a military budget for 2027. We're not going to be done with Iran by 2027?
Not if we continue the way Trump is talking about, where he wants to control the strait and change regime and have say-so in it. Yeah, it would take longer than a few months to do that.
If we did all those things, we couldn't hold them. Where do we have the military to enforce that they stay that way?
How about, I want to ask you a question from a viewer, but before I do, in the comments, Dark Side Rider says, Tim, did you know that Trump's kids are making bank on this war, which is stupid, and Americans are suffering all at the same time? Trump's son, Byron, got 36 million easy. I didn't know the number, but I do know he has a drone company or something. He's getting government contracts. I am aware, we've talked about it, which is insane. The guy's like 20 years old. Byron, what is his name, Barron? That dude is like early 20s and making a killing off of this. And we were talking about 10%. We were talking about 10% to the big guy. Huh?
Like, his whole family's profiting. But yet we still want to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yeah. That's bad.
Me?
Now, let me ask you this. Cedric Heine in the comments says, referring to you, Andy, says this woman doesn't understand exactly how tough our soldiers are. This is in regards to the marching 100 miles or hiking 100 miles and climbing a mountain.
Well, there would be no need for him to climb a mountain. That's the whole point. Every generation of my family has served this military since the country's inception, sir. 3 of my uncles are Navy right now. Don't tell me what I don't understand about the military. I understand perfectly well. But we're talking about holding down 3 regions and keeping them the way you want to with hostile combatants. Please don't forget that we went to Afghanistan with a full complement of our allies, and that didn't go so well. And Iran is twice the size of Afghanistan. Don't tell me what I fucking don't know. I know a lot more about the situation than you obviously do.
So no chance in the elite of America's military could hike 100 miles in 2 days.
Well, it doesn't make sense that he would hike 100 miles. Why wouldn't he just climb up into the mountains for protection? Why would he go an extra 100 miles and then climb into the... Like, how does that even make sense?
I think it's a case of Trump in the Trump administration. No, listen, Trump likes to kind of exaggerate a little bit to make stories, to embellish a little bit. I believe the 100-mile thing was a little bit of embellishment to the actual numbers.
Well, actually, Iran's diss track, if you saw, pretty much highlighted all that.
Yeah.
They pointed it all out. It's
Yeah,
And
for a human
they
being.
seem to think, and I want them to understand, like, we can't even get them to do what we want to now. And even if we put troops on the ground, they're surrounded by mountains.
Yeah. I don't think any human being, even like Iron Man and all of them, we can talk about, special forces guys, but I don't even think Iron Man could hike, anybody could hike 100 miles and climb a 7,000-foot mountain in 2 days. That's a lot. I mean, that's 50 miles a day on foot. And then you got to be able to cut 7,000. Just to hike 7,000 miles alone is going to take or 7,000 feet rather. Just to hike 7,000 feet alone is going to take a long time to do that.
Yeah,
but
that mathematically don't work out.
No, it doesn't.
It's not about how tough the soldiers are. It's about mathematically that don't make sense.
Yeah, it's.
And y'all, thank y'all so much. Y'all have been so kind to me today. I appreciate y'all. Works out for you too, Tim, because you get a half what I make.
I did not know that, but see, that's what I'm saying. This is a friendly. It's a free. I did not know that. It's a friendly atmosphere. Troops are coming out against the Pentagon and how they were left out there to get unalive for some holy cause, playing toy soldiers with real troops. Mr. G is saying that because that's a good point he's making. I haven't heard the story.
Have you heard Pete Hegseth talk about how God was with them and. Well, why didn't God save those 14 soldiers? Why we got so many on the casualty list?
I can't go down the religious path. I'm not religious enough to have a conversation, but I will say that if there is lying and dishonesty going on to the level that you and some of my other guests have said, there are going to be some military personnel that's going to eventually blow that. Somebody is going to tell that stuff. For instance, if no pilot went down, and we were actually there to steal uranium, that story's going to come out. When you're talking about 100 people or whatever the number they said that were over there involved in that, somebody's going to tell that story. It's leaked or what.
From what I understand, they're already talking about, not wanting to commit unlawful orders. Like, it's not like the military hotline's not busy. But I don't think they give a shit because they got rid of all the heads that could tell him no. It's him and Trump and Stephen Miller at the whim of the world. And they're not going to do anything to stop Bibi. And like Donald Trump talked about the ceasefire, but we don't have any paperwork on that.
No, we don't. But that is
what's Iran. And the points they put up, this makes us look so weak.
But that is Trump's method of operation, though, Andy, is he tells you great deals or great phone. He don't normally provide actual evidence. I mean, whether it's a great conversation with Putin or Kim Jong-un or, the drug boats, it's kind of normal for him to not provide evidence of what he's saying. You just kind of have to take him at his word.
The UN laughed at us today. The entire UN laughed at us. Outright, they were talking about President of Peace, and the entire UN started laughing, and then somebody yelled out war criminals, and it go.
I didn't see that. That's shameful.
Yeah, we got called war criminals and laughed at for saying that we're peacetime, that Donald Trump is peaceful. The UN wasn't having that.
It's hard to disagree. Trump was seeking the Nobel Peace Prize, and we've kind of been constantly in military conflict since he's gotten in office. So no, it's hard to argue that he's not a peaceful president. I think that's pretty clear because he's already said Cuba's next.
We just let Russia give Cuba fuel. Make that make sense.
I said this earlier in the live. I believe I believe Russia has something on Trump. He has never really criticized Russia, even though we now admit Russia is aiding the Iranians. He still is fairly friendly when speaking about Russia.
Oh yeah, he sent J.D. Vance to go politic for Viktor Orban.
Yeah, I heard that one. I don't get that either.
Directly tied to, every time Trump goes Russia's a hoax, a Russian jumps out.
What do you think the purpose of campaigning for Viktor Orban would be? Are we going to have some kind of special relations with that? Why is he so gung-ho?
You do realize that we're using the same model to take down the United States that they used to take down Hungary. and that there's another institute just like the Heritage Foundation in Hungary called the Danube Institute.
So
and they get together and swap ideas.
That would be frightening. That would really be frightening.
It is. As soon as I read about it, I was actually like, and Michael Flynn's tied to all that.
So what is the end goal? To turn us into some kind of
a one-party Christian nation?
Well, some people say we do need to. Some people suggest we do need to bring God back into America. So,
well, then they're gonna have to rewrite that fucking Constitution because they obviously don't know it. I'm really tired of Republicans talking about how they love the Constitution until they're willing to break it. And if anybody else breaks it, you don't love the country. But when they break it, it's because it was needed. See, they always have an excuse for why they're not the bad guy.
Yeah, that's my phrase. Our shit don't stink that I often bring up. Andy, you say things that leave me concerned every time you come on, but I'm always glad to have you here. I do got to move it on, but I hope you're wrong. I don't think you are on some of this shit, but I really want you to be.
Let me throw something else at you. Russia's making money off this conflict.
Yeah.
China's making money off this conflict. China literally was at Trump's inauguration.
How I know how Russia's benefit. How is China benefiting?
China's invested in. They're making deals with all of our allies.
Yeah.
They're not hurting. Just we are. We are literally giving China more and more power every day. We keep doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
On a global scale, we are doing nothing but raising them up.
Yeah, the tariffs alone sent a lot of business their way. So yeah, you're right. China is benefiting. I didn't think about that.
And so, what would have happened if China hadn't stepped in with Pakistan and told them to stop?
What do you mean?
China was part of that deal, the ceasefire, at the last minute.
I don't even know if we're going to. I don't even know if the ceasefire is going to last, Andy. I really am not sure about that.
I don't think Pakistan had the juice to tell Donald Trump to stop. I think it took China going, no, we're not going to do this. Because China has multiple investments in Iran.
Yeah. Wow.
It is a very wicked web the more you look at it. Trump is tied, like I said, Trump had Japan. China's vice president at his inauguration. Matter of fact, go look at how many dictators he invited to his inauguration. That was the first sign right there.
We certainly discussed that, Andy, as always. Thank you for coming through.
Real quick, everybody, thank y'all so much for the birthday wishes and gifts. I appreciate you more than y'all know. See you, Tim.
And happy birthday. We'll catch you on the next one. In the comments, Pizza Lover says you need a new guest. No, she was very much favorite. You see what was going on. Big Dog said, Pizza Lover, you need a new platform. We like Pizza Lover, but Big Dog, you crazy. Mr. G says the Pentagon threatened the Pope. What did the Pentagon say to the Pope? The Pentagon threatened the Pope? I know the Pope doesn't like Trump and Trump don't like the Pope, but how did they threaten him? What did the Pentagon say? Damn. Threaten him in what manner? Somebody let me know. Stop talking bad about Tim, best friend Donald Trump, says Pobo. You think my broke ass would be if I'm the best friend of Trump, I should be what do you think I am, middle class? Trump is my best friend, really? Tap the screen, get us up to 110. I'll get the next caller shortly. Iran equals Iraq 2.0 says miles to go. I see a lot of similarities between the Iraq and Iran wars. We were told that the countries both had an evil dictator, Saddam Hussein, the Ayatollah. One was trying to get a weapon of mass destruction. The other was trying to get a nuke, which is a weapon of mass destruction in itself. Both were allegedly killing their own people. We use the same reasons to go in Iran that we used to go in Iraq. It's almost a mirror of each other. In fact, I'll tell you this. One of the ways to get Americans, at least some of us, if not a large portion of us, to agree with going into a country is to paint a picture that the citizens in that country are being oppressed and we're going there to help them out. We've used that with the Taliban, the Iranians. Trump used it with the Venezuelans, said that they were being mistreated by Maduro. Now he's saying the Castros are doing that in Cuba. We use that a lot. That just say that they're being mistreated and folks will be, sympathetic to the cause. Even though there's a host of governments worldwide that we have backed that oppress their people. President Trump is friends with the Saudis. They don't allow you to be a member of the LGBTQ community, and women virtually have no rights at all in Saudi Arabia. President Trump, I mentioned this earlier, put the Taliban back in power in Afghanistan. You think they're for democracy and free rights? Civil rights? No. So we're not concerned with citizens having equality and freedom in countries. We back dictators and governments all the time that mistreat their citizens. However, when it comes to wanting to go into a country, if you can convince the American people that you're trying to help some folks that are being oppressed, they'll back it. As I mentioned a moment ago, and tap the screen, we'll take the next caller at 110. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Tap the screen. As I mentioned a moment ago, President Trump wrote up, or better yet, talked about a ceasefire where there was a list of bullet points that the Iranians must follow to maintain a ceasefire. Shit, man, he just popped. To maintain a ceasefire. And there's absolutely nothing in that denotes any type of protections for the Iranian citizens whatsoever. He didn't demand that they treat the citizens better or stop killing protesters or anything. He didn't do anything for them. And yet we were told that was one of the main reasons we were going to Iran, is to protect protesters that were being killed. In the ceasefire, there's nothing in there about human rights for them. So go figure with that. Anyway, looking in the comments, if they give awards for kitty piddling and starting with Trump would take them hands down. Kitty, pedo shit? Yikes. You should have freedom of religion. You shouldn't be forced to be nothing. And oh my God, it's you says you should have freedom of religion. I agree with that. You shouldn't be forced to be nothing. And you can't force nobody to love Jesus. I don't have no respect for Jesus, and that's just me. Wow. No, I agree we shouldn't force religion on anybody. I agree with that. However, this country does have a history of doing that, and there are people in this country that want to go back to doing that. I mean, people do believe religion should be put back in schools. They're not, when they say religion should be in schools, they're not talking any other religion other than Christianity. They want the kids to be taught about God and Jesus. So they are to some degree trying to go back to doing that. Fortunately, enough courts continue this, step in place and stop it. We talked about this on a live some months back. The state of Oklahoma, the superintendent of schools out there was trying to demand that the Bible be taught to schools as part of the curriculum. Here comes MAGA. It's a historical document. There's nothing wrong with that. Knowing damn well you don't want the Quran taught to kids in schools. So, yeah, they are trying to do that, though. It's just so far it hasn't happened. Real quick in the comments, are we at 100? And Trump has his own Bible. Says, yeah, not only does Trump have his own Bible, the state of Oklahoma was trying to promote the Bible. I just told you about the superintendent in schools was trying to use the Bible as part of the curriculum. One of the rules of that was going to be the Bible had to also have a copy of the Constitution in it. Trump's Bible is the only Bible that comes with the Constitution in it. So it was kind of like a backdoor quid pro quo to Trump. So the state of Oklahoma is going to be teaching kids from the Trump Bible. That's the only Bible that has the Constitution in it. So now all of Oklahoma, and this was every school in the state from, I think, kindergarten to 12th grade or something like that. The whole state was going to just be purchasing all these Trump Bibles. Anyway, looking in the comments, to get rid of Black history in textbooks. What are you talking about? Just imagine if extreme Muslims didn't put their religion as a government policy. I don't think every Muslim country does that. Let me go back to the box. We'll go to MAGA Reacts. Good evening, MAGA. In the state says no to that. Hopefully it stays that way. MAGA Reacts, good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much at all. Now, you've seen some of these Lego videos, right?
No, I haven't, to be honest.
You seen none of those Lego videos? Not one of them on TikTok?
I haven't seen the Lego movie. I haven't seen anything with Legos.
Okay. Well, there's a host of videos about President Trump.
I know about them. I haven't seen them.
What did you find out about them from?
From you, and I mean, I see them on my YouTube. I just wasn't really interested in watching them.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
I know what they are. I've heard people talk about them, including yourself, but I just haven't seen them. I've been busy.
Yeah, well, I didn't really cover them on lives as much because for me, they were just methods to troll Trump. And, I wasn't going to cover the Iranians trolling Trump. But now the videos have started painting stories and telling us what's allegedly trying to tell people what's going on in Iran. And it suggests that the Trump administration is lying about a lot of stuff. One of the videos, say it again.
What are they lying about?
Well, one of the videos states, here's a couple bars from the video. These are a couple of the rhymes in the video. Hundreds gone silent. Families never told the truth. While you scream victory, we laugh at you. So they're suggesting that hundreds of our troops have gone silent. Their families have not even been told that your son or daughter may have been killed in action. And then they follow by saying, while you scream victory, we laugh at you. So they're trying to suggest that we've had a lot more troops pay the ultimate price than that original 13 they told us. Another line, you say 13 dead, we know that's a lie. Hundreds in the dirt, Pentagon trying to hide. So I guess I'd ask you, do you think there's any chance or possibility at all that the Trump administration would deliberately mislead us on the actual death toll of our troops?
Nah, 0%, because there would be so many fucking leakers and whistleblowers if they were doing that. And
would there be? How would they?
I think,
go ahead.
I mean, you got a lot of soldiers. Those are their brothers that are dying. If it's not being reported, they'll fucking leak that shit in a heartbeat.
Wouldn't that be, and by the way, I believe some folks have suggested that that's actually happening, that folks are leaking it, but wouldn't that be against, if you're in the military, wouldn't that be against the law? I mean, you get in trouble for doing that.
Not really. Not for that. I don't know. This country has never really lied about its casualties. Why would they start lying about it now?
You believe this country has never lied about casualties? You really, I mean, they were giving African Americans syphilis during World War II. They weren't telling anybody about that. Agent Orange is another one that came out. They have been lying.
I don't know, man. I just don't see it. There's so much else they can need to lie about. I really don't see it. I think that's one of the bullshit stories, just like the one where the fucking crashed airplane was a cover-up for something.
You believe that's a bullshit story as well?
Yeah, I think it's a bullshit story. I mean, a lot of this shit's, I don't know, someone in the military would have fucking blown the whistle if it was what you guys were saying.
Here's what I don't get, MAGA. You believe, at the very least, something nefarious happened during the 2020 election. Nobody's leaking anything about that. There's hundreds of polling places and posters and governors involved in the election. Ain't nobody leaked shit. But when it comes to the military, if that happens, somebody would have to leak something. If they stole an election, nobody would have to leak anything, huh? That doesn't make sense to me.
You're kind of right there. I'll give you that. But still, like, election's different because because the people who committed the crime are the ones that need to leak it.
No, you're gonna tell me nobody. You realize how much money if you saw a poster or a manager at a polling place or something cheap, you realize how much money the Trump administration would get to you for telling the truth about that? There would be leakers.
Yeah, but if you're part of it, you'll go to jail.
Everybody
the people that know about it are going to be the ones part of it. Why do you always make shit with me about it? Why are you always going back to the election?
Because what you said doesn't fit the MAGA reacts that I've been talking to. You're telling me a huge scandal. You're telling me a huge scandal like a military jet not going down, being created out of thin air. There's too many people involved. Somebody would have to leak it. But you believe a whole national election can be stolen without any leaks happening?
Well, no, I don't believe the whole election was stolen. It was only Fulton County. It's one blue county. I mean, sorry, it's 4 counties. Fulton County, Montgomery, some county in Arizona, Maricopa, I think. It was only like 4 counties that were stolen.
That's still thousands of people, MAGA. Trump claims
I
that.
don't think it's thousands.
Well,
it's probably like a handful of people, and they're all co-conspirators.
No, because that ain't all what.
You have actual soldiers that witnessed.
No, it ain't just the witnesses. It ain't just the witnesses. Trump is claiming dead people voted, so somebody had to put that out there. The machine switch voted. Somebody had to do that. Ballots were harvested in mailboxes and shit. That would be hundreds of thousands of people involved in that.
I don't think so. Something like that, I don't think it involves that many people. Versus a soldier dying and everyone that knows him just lying about it. Like if one of your buddies in your barrack died, what are you gonna just say, hey, where'd he go the next day? I mean, that soldier interacted with a bunch of people.
So you believe they can steal an election with just a few people?
Yes. It's just a matter of, it was only 12,000 votes that determined Georgia.
12,000 people.
All they have to do is add an extra 50,000 votes to make it go over, you know? And just adding a box somewhere probably would do it.
The numbers you say that would be involved in that, there's the military story, it wouldn't be many more numbers than that involved in that. But yet you insist in the military would be a leaker.
Say I'm a soldier in the military and I die. That means I'm no longer in my base interacting with the hundreds of people I interact with every day. One of those 100 people that I interact with every day is going to be like, hey, where did the...
Well, you got sent... If the I want to say the leader...
And then you're not talking about one soldier. You're talking about there's hundreds of soldiers that are missing, and all the people that interact with them, including their families, none of them are wondering where they went.
Well, if you're in a war,
where'd they go?
No, if you're in a war, first of all, the families can be told during war a person can't always call home and talk to you. And the people that's in the military that interact with you, well, maybe he was assigned to something else, and he's on a mission that he can't contact you.
Yeah, if it was one person, I would agree with you. But we're talking about you're saying how many casualties? Hundreds that we don't know about.
Yeah, but hundreds. Only one person.
People interact with thousands of people are gonna wondering where the fuck those 100 people went.
Because the people they interact with. Because the people they interact with are gonna have no connection with each other. Maybe you know one guy that you talk to all the time, and that guy suddenly you ain't able to get in touch with him no more. You don't know the other hundreds of people. You only know 1 or 2 of them. So there's not going to be enough of them that know about it to make a link or a connection.
Listen, we're not a military of individuals. We're a military of teams. So whoever is on my team is going to be wondering where I went, and they're going to look around and figure it out. And you're saying hundreds, even maybe thousands died. That means that just a bunch of people just disappeared from the military, and none of their co-workers, none of their soldiers, their teammates are, reported it. None of them are wondering. None of their family. Nobody in the fucking military that they work with.
They could wonder it, but they can't go out they can't exactly go out and talk to the media about it. You could wonder. I kind of think what they saying happened to old boy didn't happen at that way, but you can't go out and hold a press conference about it.
I don't know. You could report it. I mean,
report it to who?
To the same people that reported that shit. Remember when they were talking all religious and shit, and it got reported? The same people. There's a lot of shit. They could report it to the internet. They could report it to a lot. There's a lot of ways to report this shit nowadays.
Well, the idea that our military can't make a few hundred people disappear is what you're trying to pass along. I don't know if I agree with that.
Someone will notice that they're missing.
Yeah, but even if they notice that they're missing, that don't mean they're going to report it. I brought up the fact that during World War II, they deliberately gave a heap of African American syphilis. That didn't come out for a long time.
Listen, we didn't have cell phones in World War II, so what the fuck are you even talking about?
You could have wrote a letter. You could have told somebody. I mean, come on now.
A nuke could have gone off in California, and we probably wouldn't even know about it in Miami and New York during World War II.
So cell phones.
A different world than today, where something happens in Iran, I could find out about it 10 minutes later. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of people going missing, and none of their co-workers or family or anybody that interact with on a daily basis reporting it or snitching that they're missing. I mean, come on, Tim. This is like... And plus, there's so much to talk about. This is where you're going to fucking nitpick the fact that Iran's trying to convince you that a lot more people died than actually died?
Well, I absolutely could believe it could be more than 13. Maybe they're doing a Trump maneuver where they're actually exaggerating on the numbers. Maybe it's not hundreds, maybe it's dozens, but perhaps they're doing what Trump often does.
If you're telling me it's 2 or 3, maybe 5, I'd be like, okay, that's believable, but it's not hundreds. I don't even doubt it's 2 or 3 or 5.
Debbie says he's just terrible. Mr. G says Undersecretary of Defense, Secretary of War said the United States has the military power to do whatever it wants in the world. The Catholic Church had better take its side. Did he say that? I don't know. I'm gonna say, Mag.
There's so much legit shit to criticize. The fact that you nitpick on this is just stupid.
No, well,
there's so much legitimate shit to criticize, like Netanyahu getting us in this war and sabotaging the ceasefire and all that shit. And you nitpick on this bullshit. Come on, Tim.
Well, I'm picking on this bullshit because I've got to question whether or not it's true. We've covered a million stories on Netanyahu. In fact, what was my last graphic from the previous show? If I can bring it up, I think it was genocide, and it had a picture of Netanyahu in it. This was the last show we did was Netanyahu. So no, I don't. We talk about Netanyahu. I think everybody believes that, and this is my opinion because I got a video. I haven't played it recently, but I have a video of Netanyahu dated back to 1995, and it shows him aging over the years, changing ties and changing suits and shit. Every few years, he was saying Iran was only a few months away from developing a nuclear bomb. I mean, they're just like video after video after video. In my opinion, Netanyahu finally found someone, that being one Donald J. Trump, that fell for what he was saying.
You just reminded me that the reason it's terrorism versus a war, an army does a war. Random terrorists do terrorism. Like, if it's an official army doing it, you could call it a war or an invasion. But if it's just random non-military people committing fucking terrorism for political reason, then they become terrorists.
I don't know where to go with a crazy ass definition like that. I mean, listen, if
you said, like, why is it when we do it, it's a war, and when they do it, it's fucking terrorism?
I don't. To me, Hezbollah. When you look at a group of Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, Al Qaeda, ISIS, when you look at them, most times they are an army. It's a bunch of armed guys, many of them wearing camouflage.
They don't belong to any country. They don't belong to a country.
That don't mean they're not an army, though. You don't have to be
military waging war. It's just terrorists. They're free. You call them freedom fighters if you want to call them freedom fighters.
I don't automatically put them in a cap. To me, an act of terrorism, if you go by its definition, then America is often committing acts of terrorism too. I mean, we do things that is designed to scare the shit out of people, which is what terrorism is all about. We do stuff like that. I don't know why all of a sudden every other country is considered a terrorist, yet America's the one that's always telling folks how they must behave, how they must live, and we don't ever get called terrorists.
Usually when it's a legit army to a legitimate country, it's not terrorism. And that goes for like Iran's army.
Yeah, in America's eyes.
Iraqi's army to do something, it wouldn't be terrorism.
That's in America's eyes. We have our own special definition. You're right. Usually it's not called terrorism in America's eyes. But you do have a guest. What is the name there?
Cam.
Cam.
Let's put it was like the CIA doing it. You could call it terrorism because they're not officially military.
I don't.
So, just background. I'm 12 years our military. I currently work for a company that recovers people from war-torn countries or natural disasters. That stuff. So, the whole thing, and I want to jump back to the whole thing with the plane and the 100 miles and that stuff. That is 100 miles from when the plane was struck, because as soon as it gets struck, the coordinates hit. That's
so a lot of that distance may have not had nothing to do with him hiking. It could have been a wreckage just gliding or something.
It was him ejecting, and objects in motion stay in motion. So he kept in the direction that plane was traveling until he ejected. So yes, that distance.
So the 100 miles should never have even been mentioned.
And that's the thing. We don't see, like, I travel all over the world. I have more stamps on my passport than somebody will see in their lifetime. We don't see the truth here, and I think that's bullshit. What we see overseas, I just came back from Jordan, which that's where our central base was. But we don't see the truth, and I think that is the worst thing a country can have. And
well, when you say we don't see the truth, is that just because we are not in the theater, or is it because our government is deliberately lying about it?
The media they do not have to tell you the truth, and that was years ago that they got rid of that, and it needs to go back to them being held accountable for.
But wait a minute. When you say the media,
not trying to get clicks.
Hold on. When you say the media, let me just say something. When you say the media, understand our president now is telling us a lot about what's going on. So we're not just hearing what's going on from the media. Do you believe the president is telling the truth?
Okay, so anybody that's in the military,
what is the truth? What are they lying about? Tell us.
Anybody that I'll get into that. Anybody that is in the media or in the military, I'll say, knows that if you're in the military, you know 10% of the truth.
But the president knows more than 10%.
He's only allowed to dispose or release 10%. That is the rule. It is a need-to-know basis. That is the way our government works. That's the way the military works. That's the way. If you're not in that mission, then you're not a need-to-know.
But do you believe the 10% he's giving us is generally accurate?
Well, here's the thing. If you look at it and you go, okay, he said 100 miles. He's going to throw a number out there. If it's 100 miles from point of contact, he's not going to say that, oh, it was ejected. He's not going to give you final details. He was at this elevation, going this speed. He doesn't. Well, he gets that information. I guarantee he doesn't retain it.
Iran is begging for a ceasefire. That's worse than he said. Do you believe that is generally accurate?
No, because just like was said before, we are not against one military. It is a whole bunch of regions that all.
So why would he say that? Why would he say that?
Because he has to please the people. And you know what? As soon as he says, if he put the truth out there, people would lose it. You know what? I was in Tel Aviv when it was getting hit. I have videos of the rockets hitting. I'd gladly send you a few. So Tel Aviv was saying, oh, yeah, we're good. I literally have video of one hitting less than a block away from me.
Wow. So in other words, our president is just telling us stuff to appease us that, in your opinion, may not even be true. Just saying that to paint a positive picture?
Very possibly. Well, not very possibly. Yes, because the average citizen cannot handle what actually happened.
How about not saying anything? Why give these great stories to make people happy? Because eventually, if they find out the truth, they may be depressed.
It's the kind of thing of, if you ask your wife, what are we having for dinner? And she says, you'll see. Instead of, hey, we're having steak.
And then she serves me some burnt out chicken. That's what it sounds like.
It's still food, though.
Look, do you want the stock market to crash and the oil market to fucking explode?
Well,
could it happen? No. Could it happen? Yes.
He's talking to me. He's talking to me.
It could happen with nothing.
I'm talking to him, not you.
Well, he's talking to me, Cam, because he too believes, like what you're saying. He believes that it makes sense to paint a positive picture, even if it's not true, because he favored Trump saying that COVID would be gone by April during the pandemic. So just paint a positive picture to keep people upbeat.
So another thing, and this wasn't on the media or anything like that. Well, not that I know of. I wasn't watching U.S. media when I was over there. The other part of it was soldiers were getting targeted by their cell phone.
Soldiers,
So
wait.
When they saw a cluster,
Soldiers are getting what? Wait, you said what? Soldiers are getting what?
When soldiers were like grouped up, whether Snapchat or anything like that, anybody that's familiar with any of the social media stuff, especially like Instagram started doing it, it shows a hotspot. So as soon as they would see a clip or anything of that, that's how a lot of their intel was coming in. So even as us as operators over there, we were told limit phone, no social media, this, that. So do I think anything happened? Do I think we lost soldiers? No, because it doesn't matter what the president says. When we lose a soldier overseas, I lost a few of my brothers over there. That is a ceremony. We have a ceremony for our brothers, and you are not stopping that.
So you do not believe that there are KIAs that the government is not telling their families or telling the public?
Absolutely not, because I know overseas, every single base there has cell service. I know this day and age, they are holding, besides like Jordan, you can't have Starlink. Most soldiers or most groups have Starlink. So they all have service. They all have ways to communicate. That, you know what? When something does happen, and I get a lot of contact from my buddies that are still in, and I get videos from them saying, man, we got hit hard. They would know what's going on. It's going to get out. It's not going to be, shadowed out there.
So do you dispel the notion that they were this F-15 containing a navigator and pilot was shot down? Some folks are saying it was not about that. It was about us trying to take their uranium or something. Do you believe that's a fake story?
This is one reason why I absolutely want to get up here. There is the main tactic that we use to recover people, and we still are the company I work for now. We still use this deception. So yes, they're going to bring in whatever they have to bring attention off the area that they're working in. So whether it's C-130s, which I completely understand, a C-130 doesn't need a runway to land. They can land on dirt. They're short takeoff. They can land in the mountains. So the other aspect of it, number one, they bring a C-130 in because if that plane is recoverable, because there's sensitive items on it,
they can put it in there. They can put it in there.
Yes. You can't do that with the Black Hawk.
Right.
You can't do that. You can't do that with most of the choppers.
You can put a Black Hawk. You can put a Black Hawk in a C-130, can't you?
Oh yeah. You can fit 4 or 6. But the thing is, you're not gonna bring a Chinook in there. It's too slow. It's a flying pig. So.
But you do believe we had downed aviators, and that whole mission was to rescue them.
Yes, 100%. I know for a fact it was.
All right, fair enough. That's
why I'm saying I don't like that the people aren't filled in after the mission happened, which I understand why they aren't, because a lot of people can't deal with seeing the stuff that we see over there. But at the same aspect, I don't agree with the whole let's hide it. Let's leave too many open conclusions, because that's how you get conspiracies.
I was going to say that the more Trump says things like, for instance, we obliterated their nuclear ambitions back in June of last year. And here you are, 6 months, 7 months later saying, oh, they were about to get a bomb. We had to do something. when you say stuff like that, you're right. You leave room for people to speculate. You're not being honest.
That's exactly it. And on the same end of that aspect, you got to look at it like the last two wars we got out of, Iraq, Afghanistan, all that stuff. We didn't fight the military. We didn't fight the government. We fought a bunch of, we
fought the military in Iraq. We fought the military in Iraq.
Not really. It was when we were over there, because I was over there, that would have been 2007, when I was in Iraq. That was these people didn't wear uniforms. They didn't, they had what they got. Yeah, they got AKs. Not every AK matched. They're not a military where they have uniforms, all that stuff. That's why that war was, very shitty. Because we didn't have targets to go after. We had ghosts, basically. So this is an actual
military.
Well, not a war yet, but a conflict. Basically a war.
Wait, what would make it a war? If this is not a war, what is your definition of an actual war?
In my opinion, number one, Congress would have to approve it. If we were in a war.
So when he threatened to end civilization in Iran and for it never to return, you believe a president could actually do that and it not be called a war because he wasn't asking Congress for help and Congress was not getting in the way. If he wanted to do that, they were making it clear, it's up to you, sir. He had to back down. There was nobody making him back down. You believe he could do that and that not be a war?
Yes. If we are assisting somebody, then it is a conflict. It is not a war. If we are directly going into a country, if we went into Germany or something like that, and actually just our military with other people assisting us, then yes, we'd be in a war.
Who the hell are we assisting in Iran?
Yeah. Israel.
I think we're just co-conspirators in that, in my opinion. I got to move it on, but you're certainly an interesting guest. You're always welcome back. Thank you for your service. We don't agree on everything, but go ahead. What was last word on you? What you say?
No, he came up here to basically agree with me, back me up.
Okay.
Oh, definitely. And that's why I wanted to get up there, because there's so much. I don't like lying to Americans. We're all Americans. We should all get along. It doesn't matter whether you're Democrat, Republican, anything. I don't care. I've been to war with everybody.
But you do admit Trump is not being honest about everything in this. You made it clear he's trying to paint a happy picture. That's lying, just to keep the peace.
That's it.
You know what?
Politician.
At the same point, never trust a politician. That's number one. Number two, doesn't matter what side they're on. Number two, the American people shouldn't see war.
Some would suggest the American people shouldn't start war. Before I let you go, Cam, before I let you go, I just want to ask you one question. Who won the 2020 election?
The 2020, Biden won it. It's I'm not gonna. I look at it as it's in the past. I don't know the truth, so I can't really comment. So I'm going to say.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay, fair enough. I got to move it on. Thanks for coming through.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Hey, for the record, I don't know if Trump won. I just think that election was fishy, and we need to spend 2 years investigating it, like we investigated Russia. Right. I wanted 2 years of the Mueller report. I wanted a Mueller report for 2020. That's all I want.
If they don't have anything,
I want a fucking review on the play.
If they don't have anything to go, they're not just going to keep investigating just to make your time frame.
They did it for Russia. They did it for the Russia collusion. I'm sure they could have. They had more for 2020 than the Russia collusion bullshit.
I'll leave it at that. MAGA Reacts, thank you for coming through. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 120,000. And definitely I need a whole lot on the e-files. Don't forget about that. You're not going to get anything on the e-files as long as Trump is president. Real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything in the comment section here. Darkside Rider says, MAGA Reacts, stop lying. I saw you at Walmart in the toy aisle. You got Legos, dude. Tell the truth. Darkside is suggesting that MAGA Reacts knows about the Trump Lego videos. You saw them in Walmart in the Lego aisle. I still love Legos. In fact, I got a Lego Air Force One right here next to me that I need to build. I got Lego tanks and shit in the background. I enjoy it. You know, sometimes it's a way to kill the monotony. When I'm not doing lives, I'm sitting in front of the television enjoying a little bit of News Nation, CNN, or Fox. Sometimes I'll put on the spectacles and put together a model. I got some big ones. Anyway, Vatican canceled all meetings to the U.S. Really? Is that in regards to President Trump allegedly, or the Pentagon rather, criticizing or threatening the Pope? The Vatican? Really? Wow. Holy cow. That's it. So now we got the Pope, according to this, the Pope is not happy with us. And that's in addition to President Trump on Easter saying, you know, talking about Allah is great or whatever. Jesus Christ. The man is like Teflon. He can do and say some wild shit and survive. That's crazy. Can you imagine if Obama was praising Allah on Easter? How that would go down? Can you just think about that? Barack Hussein Obama praising Allah on Easter Day. Easter Sunday doing it. Just imagine. You think that they treated Trump the same as they would have treated Obama for doing something like that. The whole war on terrorism is against small groups, says Mr. G. Yeah, like I said, I don't agree with everything the last caller said. I do thank him for his service, but yeah, and I see Denkow says his answer told us everything we needed to know about the 2020 election. I'm just going to put my hands up on it. Anyway, let me go back to the box. They would lose their right. Yeah, if Obama was talking about Allah, saying that Allah is great or whatever Trump said, praising Allah on Easter Sunday, that does just go to show that he can get away with a lot that other presidents and other politicians cannot. That would be a huge, huge story if Obama praised Allah on Easter Sunday. That would be a huge story. The right, yeah, that's just Trump being Trump. Like, really? Just fucked up your God, huh? Didn't say nothing about Jesus Christ on Easter at all. The day the man rose again, didn't mention him at all. He brought up Allah. Okay, let me go back to the some of it's comical. Some of it is actually comical that he can do that, and the outcry is essentially non-existent. But some of the things we heard in regards to Biden and Obama, it didn't take much, and he can literally praise Allah on Easter Sunday, and there's little to no outrage to that. And that would have been a huge story if Obama did it. It would have been a big story if Biden even had done it. It would have been a big story. Just Obama sitting in a church where the pastor was criticizing the actions of America was a huge multi-segmented story on Fox. Reverend Wright, Obama's pastor on the south side of Chicago, Hannity had folks sitting in his church. Sean Hannity actually had folks recording sermons and everything from his pastor's church. But yet Trump can praise Allah on Easter Sunday and virtually nothing. More money, and some conservative. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Love the statement. In fact, there's a movie called More Money. We gave these clowns an entire desert to play in. My kid's sandbox is off limits. We gave? What are you suggesting, that we own the world and we decided to give them a small part of? We gave these clowns an entire sandbox to play in. They were playing in that sandbox before you even had a nation to call your own. America's only like 200 and some years old. What do you mean we gave them a sandbox? What the hell? Let me go back to the box. That's almost kind of like a statement from supremacy or privilege. We gave them, you talking about Israel? All right. The reason you don't trust a politician on either side is because they both get paid by AIPAC. They serve the same people. I've heard a lot of people say that, handsome conservative. I've heard a lot of people agree with you on that. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 125,000, if you will. We'll continue on with Miss Mo Better. Good evening, Miss Mo Better. Welcome to the program.
My name is no longer Miss Mo Better. It's of course I'm Sammy Davis Jr. I'm tapped so goddamn much that I forgot my name.
Well, I appreciate the tapping. It helps out the algorithm. And by the way, for my YouTube viewers, smash that like button. I need you to tap the screen as well. It helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. This is free speech here. We don't block benefits or anybody.
I was about to quit you, Tim. I'm telling you, this close.
I've had a lot of women tell me that throughout my life, so I understand. I understand. So, you heard my last caller suggest that for the most part, the Trump administration is being honest about the details of what's going on. Because
he's a be honest fucking lie. What he got up there did was regurgitate everything that Trump's been telling him. That's what's keeping Trump going, because you got people like those two that was just up there, get up there and recycle the bullshit, the lies that Trump put out. So one thing I agree with him is what he was saying. It's not the media's agenda is not to be honest. It's to be first. I'm exclusive. I got exclusive here. I got exclusive. They don't care about it. They don't care about it being right or wrong. That's not their objective.
Well, one of the viewers, MAGA Reaction, wants to know, what are you accusing him of recycling?
First of all, we're accusing you of coming up here. Everything you talk about is a goddamn lie. You sit in that damn basement of yours playing that Grand Theft Auto and then goes and say, well, this is the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, they want the green linen.
Well, first of all, in defense of Rockstar Games, Grand Theft Auto is, I'm waiting for the new one to come out in May or something, whatever.
Well, listen,
that's a good game.
You just said you got Legos you need to put together, so I know where you at mentally. Listen, that needs no explanation.
I love everything about aeronautics. I fly airplanes, I got helicopters and drones.
And Cedric Haney with your bitch ass, shut up. You sit and play a keyboard gangster in there all the time and never bring your ass up here with no kind of facts or nothing. We don't need to hear from you. Next.
And I see somebody said GTA 6 is not dropping. It's coming out eventually. It's probably gonna cost about $100 per purchase, but I'm getting GTA 6. But anyway, so you do believe Trump is deliberately misleading the public on this?
Oh, absolutely. So he can keep robbing us our money. Because that's all. This is all that's about. That and hiding them e-files. That's what all of this shit is about. He figured, let me cause a diversion because he know they're gonna be fucked up in the midterms.
Oh my goodness! Why would an 80-year-old that is a multi-billionaire be still trying to get more money though?
Because they don't want nobody else to say. It's all about exclusivity. They don't want anybody else on the playing field. We just need a select few elites and just. Everybody else, you fend for yourself. And like Eartha saying, it's greed. Greed is a real thing, and it's one of the 7 deadly sins. You know that, right?
Well, Trump did come out recently as a practicing Catholic, so maybe he won't be as greedy anymore.
Doing what? Say that again?
He came out and admitted he has found Catholicism. He's a practicing Catholic now.
And that's why the Pope ain't talking to his ass now, huh?
Is that for real? I haven't heard that announced. Is that what happened?
Oh, but I don't. Whatever happened, I don't really know the details of that. But listen, everybody that yells "Holy, holy, holy" ain't going to heaven anyway. So we just gonna put that out there. You know what I'm saying? He would have did better sticking to the fact that he's not a Christian.
How do you?
Because that would have been honest.
How do you piss off the Catholics and the Muslims simultaneously? God damn! How do you do that?
I told you who he is, little Biff. Like he was the troublemaker on the playground. He was the troublemaker on the playground. And then he got home and caused trouble because he probably got his ass beat on the playground.
God. Wow, this guy can't win. In the comments, Dark Side Rider says, it's true. It's so true. I kid you not. MAGA Reacts is at Walmart's buying games. He's at GameStop too. Miss Mo Better is on to something. Well, I like Legos. She ain't on to nothing. It's something fun to do. You like to knit, right?
Crochet.
I
do.
Okay, so what's
Listen,
the difference?
I ain't mad at you for you building your little models and all of that stuff. Listen, there's no age limit to being a child. We see that. We got a child running the country right now. You kidding?
Oh my God.
We can run countries as children. Yeah,
So,
we can.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if he prevents Iran from becoming a nuclear power, ends up getting the Strait back open and allowing America to also be part in charging tolls to get through, is that not a win that Trump is implementing for us?
It might be a win for him because trust me, he's transactional. So if it's not anything that, shut up, Cedric. If that's not anything that he could benefit from personally, it's not going to happen. Everything he's doing is for personal gain. It has nothing to do with the country. How much has it cost the American people since he's taken office in 2025? How much has it cost us?
It's been a few
when it comes
pennies.
to the fuel bill, the fuel bills has doubled, almost tripled now.
Yeah, but how do you respond to folks who might suggest when it comes to a potential threat having nuclear weapons, it's worth paying a few bucks extra at the pump to prevent that from happening?
How long have we been talking about that nuclear threat that they claim is going on? And nobody's found that nuclear threat yet. Since when? And ain't nobody talking about it again but Bibi.
Plus,
he's the only one bloviating that bullshit.
I mean, we've been talking about it.
Said, he's Trump's pimp. Trump is his bitch. He's gonna do what he tell him to do. Now, if they want to really, what they need to, we need to stop supporting. Is not real. That's who we need to stop supporting. Is not real. That's who the demons are.
I've been told, Miss Mobetta, that folks that talk like you, that automatically puts them in the category of being an anti-Semite.
Well, they could say what they want to say. I know the truth. I know what I've seen. I know what I read, and I know who is the actual benefactor here. And it's not the American people.
Yeah. Well, what about the possibility? Because remember, Straight Talk, who's not on the program tonight, but Straight Talk insists that gas prices are going to go down even lower than they were before this took off. He's talking about in the span of about a week. I think about a week now. It's been about a week since he said that. So he's saying
he's been saying that forever, Tim. He's been saying that since he's been up here about 2 months ago. I guess when I first, it's going to go down. Give him time. No, it's not. And if it do go down, it won't go down to no $1 and 90 something cents. That's a lie. They're not going to allow that to happen.
Well, he said it being $1 and something like $1.50, $1.90.
Yeah. I guess he got that from True Social too, huh? I don't know why they call it True Social because no nothing but lies go up there. That should be Lying Social.
You say Trump's website should be called Lying Social, huh?
That's Lying Social with the chief liar behind the keyboard.
Well, I will say this. I mean, if the guy is trying to prevent our enemies from becoming a nuclear power, isn't that beneficial to us? Shouldn't he get credit for that?
If that's what he was doing, absolutely should get credit, but that's not what he's doing, Tim. So you can't get credit for that when that's not what you're doing. Because first of all, there was a deal already in place. Why would he cancel that?
I was told the deal that was in place was a dumb deal, and Obama was sending them piles of cash, and they weren't even honoring it.
That goes to show you how much people know about what was happening, or how much they read about it, or researched it. They didn't do none of that shit. They sit around and wait for Fox News or True Social to put some shit up, and then they go and regurgitate that. Come on. Yeah. Now, where was the threat at when Biden was in office? It wasn't one, was it?
I believe Biden had something to say about that. I believe Biden, Obama, all of them were talking about Iran cannot become a nuclear power. They all were. But
again, Obama put something in place that had them at bay. You still, and even with them going in there and unaliving schoolgirls and blowing up all kinds of stuff over there, you still haven't came up with the evidence. Like they did those boats down from Venezuela, and there's no evidence of anything that's moving in this country right now. And then people expect for us to respect that. Our money is paying for that. Y'all do know that, right?
Yeah,
you're not exempt from paying that, right?
I will agree. It would help Trump's claim if he was to provide evidence for some of the stuff he says. That would be beneficial. Real quick in the comments, Dark Side Rider says, I hope they make a DreamWorks picture, Lego movie of Trump to know how dumb and idiotic he really is. And I hope the Joker makes him a super villain. They're not going to do it while he's president. because he would sue their whole studio out of existence. So if it happens, it'll have to be after President Trump is not in power anymore.
Whoever is making those videos is trolling the shit out of him. But again, it was all fun and games when he was doing. Oh, he the big man on campus. He the only ones who had the balls to do that. But now it's happening to him. You want to cry. That's what you call hypocrisy. That's what a hypocrite is. For those who have the wrong definition of what that is, it's him. He's the epitome of hypocrisy.
Is he doing? A liar. I'm gonna ask you this again. Is he doing anything right? Anything. I want you to hold on. Here's what I want you to define right. I want you to define right. Before I define right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to give President Trump a compliment on his job. Pick anything you want. Give me a compliment on something Trump has done. Take your time. Take your time.
So I've been told, that old wise woman told me, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. So I plead the fifth, just like him.
The man has been president, Miss Mobetta, for nearly 2 years. You can't come up with one thing at all?
No. I get it. It's no longer his fault, though. It's those that fucking voted for that shit. It's their fault. This is their problem. They have just as much blood on their hands as he do. Yeah, they do. Not one
aspect of his presidency you can come up with.
Nope. I told you, you know what he is? He's like a cow. He'll give you a whole bucket of milk and then turn around and kick it over. Then give it all and say, see, I saved you. That's the type of man he is. He has a horrible spirit. His spirit is raggedy as hell, Tim. I'm sorry.
What about
and we can't I personally can't connect with that. You keep trying to fluff for his ass and give him some type of credit. He doesn't deserve any.
Did he not lower drug prices, prescriptions? I mean, did he not give him any credit for what the man is doing?
They were already lower. He stopped it just so he could come back and put his fucking name on something. Tim, how you memorializing yourself and your ass alive?
That is a bit of.
That's because he knows the devil don't even want him. So he's just gonna be floating around the earth being a tyrant.
Yeah, I don't agree with a memorial for a living citizen. I don't agree with that, but I see
your name on money, on your face on the coin. Get your raggedy ass out of here. They better go check China for taking all that shit out of our banks. But again, like I said, people worried about the wrong shit. Y'all worried about the wrong shit. Y'all thinking y'all exempt because y'all blowing his nuts. Y'all think y'all exempt. Guess what? You gonna pay just like everybody else is gonna pay. He don't give a fuck about nobody but himself. Period. Yeah, and he's treating us like this. He's treating our country like it's The Apprentice.
Well, here's one for you. Coming from a handsome conservative says, question: if Trump is as dumb as the Democrats say, talking about you, then what does that make the Democrats losing to him twice? That's a great question.
That's because we know the fix was in. Stop playing. If you want to go there, let's go there. If Elon didn't buy those fucking votes and shit for him, he wouldn't have won either. Hillary beat him and so did Kamala. But we already know with the Christian white nationalists, people like Stephen Miller and shit like that, they're not going to let no black woman be in no position of power, let alone a woman, period. Let's knock that shit off. So they can say all they want to say about the Democrats losing. Them motherfuckers cheated, period.
You actually believe Kamala Harris beat Trump?
Yeah. Yes, she did.
No. Based on what? Even Kamala Harris ain't saying that.
Okay. She got other shit to do. She got shit to do. She don't have to say it. That's why we here.
Well, she is known for the quote, "These motherfuckers are crazy." So
and she know and it's not everything that's happening right now. Did she not call it? Before, yes, she did. Now you keep calling her a bad candidate. No, it's just bad timing, Tim. And let's be honest about who she was actually running against. It wasn't Trump she was running against. It was them powers that's behind his little bitch ass.
I have a hard time believing Kamala Harris beat Trump. MAGA reacts.
You can do that if you want.
Yeah, MAGA reacts in the comments says Trump 2028. I think they want.
He
Kamala.
just said Harris 2028 too, so he got to make.
That's what I mean. Well, Kamala Harris. That's what he's talking about.
You just said he said Trump.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Kamala. Do you believe Kamala should make another go at it?
No, this country is in such a fucking mess. She wouldn't even be able to get any sleep. She wouldn't be able, because they would blame every goddamn thing on her. Well, if her and Joe Biden didn't do everything, listen. Let me tell you something about what she was doing when people was calling her the border czar. She wasn't no border czar, number one. Number two, she crossed those borders. She went down there to teach them how to be economically sufficient and non-dependent, and so they could feed themselves and grow crops and how to do all of that stuff. Gave them money and like, listen, don't come here.
No.
So they need to stop lying about that shit. Start telling the truth about this stuff here. Listen, Tim, a lie don't care who tell it. You understand what I'm saying? However, the people need to get out there, start reading the real shit. It's more than Fox News. It's more than True Social. Trump lies, and Trump lies cost lives.
Ooh. Well, I mean, a lot of folks still think he's doing somewhat of a good job. You heard my last two callers.
Them raggedy motherfuckers that got it, and that's why they suffering right along and everything. But they are not gonna tell you that out loud, Tim. They going, oh, we're doing great. No, you don't. You must not have a 401k. Your stocks and shit like that. Oh, what you bought into crypto? How long you think that shit gonna last before they rob you of that shit too?
Mm-hmm.
Now watch how shit really go up once the penny. You know they stop producing the penny, right?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So anybody got anybody to hold on, because copper is worth a lot of money.
I think it's somebody's hating on you. I think it's illegal.
It is okay.
I think it's illegal to melt down currency, though. Even though you're right, the copper is worth more than the penny itself, but I think it's a crime to melt that down.
So, but listen, it's okay. I'm gonna drop because I don't want them flag me, because I think they shadow ban you already, because normally it'll pop up when you're on live, and it hasn't been doing that. I have to go actually to your page and look. So you people get shadow banned. But again, for people on here that report and shit, if you can't handle what's being said or what you hear, go find something else to do with your time. Like go get some Legos or some shit.
Would you stop it with the fuking Legos?
Go color, go do something.
Oh,
but these are grown folks over here talking. And if you can't handle it, get your ass out the kitchen.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you for cooking up some, Chef. Miss Mobetta it is. Tap the screen, get us up to 150 FIDDY. Nobody reporting USAI. I don't know about that, Matter Rex, because I see what they're claiming. And I don't know about that. I think that some folks do report. Tap the screen, get us up to 150,000, if you will. We'll take the next caller. By the way, we don't block, ban, or censor anybody. What do we always say? We're MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. I need for my YouTube viewers right now to smash that like button. If you're watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, follow the program. If you're watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. This is uncensored, free speech. Doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. We allow you to speak without any necessary interruption. Blue One Banks with the Galaxy. Shout out to you. Thank you for your support, sir. But yeah, this is all about free speech. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. Harris went to teach them how to bar hopping. What do you say? Harris went to teach them how to bar hop. You know, everybody picks somebody in administration that suggests they're drunk. They used to say that Kamala Harris was always drunk. That's now happening with Pete Hegseth. They're calling him Hennessy Hegseth or Whiskey Pete or whatever names they're using on Pete Hegseth now. Same thing they're saying. They were saying that with Kamala Harris. I don't buy that either one of them are getting fucked up like that, but I've never had a drink in my life, so it's not like I would be a good person to recognize what somebody looks like drunk. Republicans and Democrats are both guilty. That's understandable. Here's the problem with that, though. President Trump was allegedly the non-typical politician going to expose the deep state, drain the swamp, and all of that stuff. Why is he always continuing to get compared to typical politicians now? When he does so well, Obama did that. Biden was doing it too. He was supposed to be the guy that didn't do the same shit as all the other presidents. Now that he's in there and he's doing things that some might perceive as fucking up, to defend them, we're comparing him to typical politicians. He was not supposed to be that. Where are all of the swamp creatures that have been drained? That's what he told us he was going to do. Now we're being told, well, you know, they all do this. I don't understand that. There's nothing about police brutality. What do you mean by that, Bella Scott? What do you mean police brutality? Tim never had a beer. Lord, how? No, I've never had a beer, wine cooler, none of that shit. I've never tried it. I think NyQuil. I think one of those. There's some drug, some cough medicines I believe have alcohol in it. So I've had some of that. But no, just for recreational purposes, I've never had alcohol of any type. Anyway, looking in the comments, you missed the point. He went on no wars and exposing Epstein files to go against that. I don't know what the point is. I know that President Trump that's in the Oval Office is not the President Trump that stood at rallies campaigning. What he is doing as president does not match what he campaigned on. The border, protecting the integrity of women's sports, I bring those things up. Yeah, he's doing that stuff. And even with the border, that ain't the way he campaigned. He didn't lead people to believe ICE would have the power that they have. He didn't lead people to believe that they would deport the level of people that are being deported. This is the Trump in office is not the Trump that campaigned. I personally would tell you, in my opinion, and I went to a couple of Trump rallies, I don't think Trump would have won. If he had campaigned on what he actually was going to do, I don't think he would have. I know for a fact the Hispanic community would not have supported him. His numbers with the Hispanic community would have been way, way less than they are. Because ICE was supposed to deport rapists and murderers, not everybody. So yeah, I know for a fact I don't think he would have won. I don't think Trump would have won if he had actually campaigned on what he was going to really do. I don't think a lot of MAGA would have supported him if he made it clear, I'm going to take Greenland, I'm going to go into Cuba, I'm going to attack Iran. I don't even think his MAGA numbers would have been as strong as they are. He campaigned on no new wars, not a host of them. So no, I believe that the Trump we have in the Oval Office is significantly different than the one that campaigned. And I say this on many lives, is that there are two types of Trump supporters. One type of Trump supporter are folks that favored his policies, getting the economy back on track, lowering gas prices on day one, ending the Ukraine-Russian war, securing the border, all of this stuff. Those were the campaign promises. No new wars and no endless forever wars. That's what he campaigned on. A lot of folks voted for that because that's the America they wanted. That's one type of MAGA. The other type of MAGA voted for Trump, the man. The folks who voted for Trump based on the policies he campaigned on, many of them are not happy because we're at war and because he's doing things that he didn't campaign on. Those folks are not happy, the ones that voted for Trump for the policies. The folks that are really happy with Trump are people who voted for the man. As long as he's in the White House, they're going to be happy. It doesn't matter what he does. They voted for the man to lead this country. They believe Trump has the best vision for America. And whatever that vision may be, I believe and have faith that that will turn out best for our nation. So even if it doesn't look very good on its face, I have faith in Trump that it will turn out for the best. Those folks are still extremely happy in President Trump. Those folks have faith in Trump kind of comparable to a deity. I've mentioned this before. You know, they say God works in mysterious ways, or he doesn't come when you want him, but he comes right on time. So no matter how bad your life is going, no matter how bad things look, your faith in your deity, in your God, teaches you that eventually he's going to have my back and things are going to turn out right. No matter, I don't care if I'm stage 4 dying of cancer. Either he's going to let me in the kingdom of heaven or I'm going to go into remission. You just always have the faith that the end result will be good. Those folks are still very happy with President Trump because they have the faith that no matter what he does, at the end, it will benefit America. So they're very happy. So, you know, what is the phrase? He's not playing checkers, he's playing chess. He is 10 moves ahead of everybody. So yeah, gas prices are high. We're currently at war, but he is 10 moves ahead of everybody, and it will turn out right. Those folks are very happy. Very similar to having faith in a deity of sorts. Anyway, looking in the comments, Canada going through some economic times, or economically rough. Well, with the war in Iran, because I heard my nation where I used to live in, Australia, was telling folks about rationing out gas and things. I mean, there's a lot of nations going through tough economic times because of what we've done here, such as the tariffs has made times tough for a lot of people. Gen X, fuck around and find out. Good evening.
What's happening, Timmy Tim?
Not much at all. Hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. Good to have you back on. So, have you seen some of these Lego videos floating around?
Yeah, the memes, I think they're hilarious on both sides. I think the Iranians are actually pretty good at it because I watch them and laugh.
But do you think there's any validity to their claims that the information being released to us by our government may not be accurate?
Bro, there's a little validity in everything, but it's mainly propaganda. It's to blow up what's real and make it look a lot larger than life, and blow up what's not real and make that look much larger than life. It's propaganda, man, on both sides. I get it, and I get a kick out of it. I think they're pretty creative. They got some good goddamn writers over there in fucking in Iran. I can see them all sitting around a campfire saying, "No, be quiet. Here comes a heat seeker. Okay, light the fire. Let's keep on with the top."
Oh my God! So you do believe that Trump? Then you said on both sides, you believe that Trump is feeding us propaganda?
Oh yeah, they all are, bro. That's what nations, governments do, man. That's what they do.
So then
they want to keep their base, you know, and the way they do that is by convincing their base with the weaker minds that they're right. Be they right or wrong. Because right now they're wrong. And no, I don't regret my vote. Yes, I would vote for Trump again. Yes, I agree with some of the stuff he's done. And I like the way my country's going. What I don't like is the whole Israel thing, and I've expressed this. Israel is not our ally by any stretch of the imagination. Israel has one end goal in mind, Tim, and that is to reestablish their boundaries, what they believe to be their biblical geographical rights. They want to reestablish all of that. Do you think Netanyahu didn't know that when he picked a fight with Iran, that Yemen and all these other countries wouldn't jump in? Look what he's done. He's invading North and South. He's already expanded his territory.
I think he also knew that Trump was buying all of that shit because
100%, dude.
So, but you think Trump is leading the country in the right direction? You said, right?
In that aspect, absolutely not.
Let me ask you the question I ask a lot of viewers: the whole letter grade thing. You know, A, B, C, D, or F. What letter grade would you give Trump right now, a little bit less than 2 years into his term?
Considering the Iran thing or not considering it?
Overall, considering his governing period, all of his policies, legislation, things he has done for the country. What letter? Well, a year and a half is almost, not 2 years, closer to a year and a half. A, B, C, D, or F. What letter grade would you give him? Just judging him as a president so far.
I would give him a B minus, and here's why. I had him at an A. I would give him a weak B minus, a strong C plus, because of his mistakes with Israel. But I think at the same time, him doing that showed us a whole lot about NATO and NATO's backbone with us. They won't even let us use their airspace. We can't use our bases. We give them tens of millions of dollars to not even use their airspace. That's just kind of...
Well, first of all, I think there's two things. First of all, I don't believe we're giving NATO piles of cash. I believe that's not being worded properly. Just like they said we gave Iran piles of cash. No, we gave them their own money back. So that's the first thing. Second thing is when it comes to using their bases and things like that, what if they don't believe the attack is like we attacked Iraq, and most of the world does not view that as a necessary attack. If they think we're wrong in what we're doing to Iran, should they allow us to use their bases anyway?
Yes. Yes. Now let me say this, Tim. Remember 2 or 3 weeks ago we had this conversation, and I was hell-bent on saying that NATO were cowards, they should help us, this and that. I've changed my perspective since then, and here's why. Israel isn't a member of NATO.
No.
Why should NATO fight somebody that, they don't fall under Article 5 in any way, shape, or form? So I believe NATO's in the right for not helping us militarily. But now our bases and their airspace, from all the shit we've done for them in the past, I believe that that's wrong for them to restrict us to not even use their airspace.
Yeah,
so I agree with them not jumping in fighting. I get that, and I agree with that. But not letting us use their airspace, I think that's weakness.
Well, let's tackle the bases. Let's say, for instance, Iran was able to get ships and equipment over to Cuba, 90 miles off the coast of Florida. And Cuba didn't attack America, but they were allowing the Iranians to fly missions from their island, from their airstrips, and bomb, places like Savannah and various cities throughout Florida and, on the Gulf Coast. Do you believe America would do anything to the Cubans at all for letting them use their bases?
Yes. I also believe that we're dealing with oranges and apples.
How?
Because Israel, as we've learned from Israel, their air defense, we provide how much of it? At least 60% of the shit that gets shot down is shot down because of us.
Yeah, but that's not what
we would help them.
Yeah, but what I want to point out is you admit that if Cuba allowed the enemy to use bases to bomb us, we would not only go after the enemy, we would go after Cuba. I'm bringing that up because you're suggesting that the NATO member nations should have allowed us to use their bases. Wouldn't that put them in danger by doing that?
Doesn't just being in NATO put every NATO member in danger?
No,
because
no, because
yeah, it does. If one fight, we all fight.
No.
If one fight, we all fight.
That's so what do you say? So if France decide to attack Russia, America should just jump in. Even if America didn't think that Russia needs to be attacked, if France just starts a war with Russia, you're saying we're obligated to jump in and help them?
So you mean to tell me if France attacked Russia and Russia attacked France, France and the rest of Europe would not expect the United States to stand strong with NATO?
I don't think it matters what France was expecting. America's not going to jump in and help France if they start a war with Russia. We would not help them.
I don't believe that.
You think so?
I don't believe that.
So you think Trump would? You think if one of the NATO member nations just attacked some country, Trump would jump in and help?
And here's why I believe that. Because unlike Israel, France is a member of NATO. United States is a member of NATO. We are obligated to Article 5.
No, you're not. You're obligated.
100%.
That's not true, Gen X. It's an attack against one. Hold on. It's the way it's written up is like the Three Musketeers, all for one and one for all. An attack against one is considered as an attack against all. But that doesn't mean that we're going to help you out if you go out and do some dumb shit. That's different. If nobody's fucking with you and you go out and start a fight, no, we're not obligated to jump in there.
Actually, technically, yeah, we are.
You believe that?
Well, then why even have NATO? That was the whole reason of establishing NATO against Russia, which I think is long fucking played out. I don't think we needed NATO for the longest, but That's totally different.
You
argument.
absolutely need NATO because the fact, like you mentioned in the bases and shit, you want stuff in the region of your enemy. Russia, for instance, if we got into a skirmish with Russia, those NATO bases we have would give us quicker access. That's why Trump wanted Greenland and stuff. Like you want to be close. Doing missions all the way from America to Russia would cost a fortune and leave a lot of exposure. You want to be close to the enemy. That's why America. That's one of the benefits of America with NATO. We make it sound like we don't get anything out of it, but we absolutely do. But the idea that if a NATO member nation started a fight with an innocent party, we all supposed to jump in and risk our lives for that. That is absolutely not true, Gen X.
That's what NATO was formed.
No, it wasn't formed for offensive.
All for one and one for all. Yeah, it was.
No, it was not formed for offensive missions. It was formed as a defensive measure, not to go out and do offensive shit.
Well, we're going to agree to disagree on that because I don't doubt for a second that if Great Britain or France or any of these European nation states got into it with somebody else and started getting their ass whooped, that we wouldn't jump in and help them.
If one of our NATO member allies went by way of Hamas and attacked a bigger, stronger country, and you're right, they started really getting their ass whooped like what Israel's doing to Gaza, I think America would start speaking out on behalf of them and, talking genocide and, okay, you got your get back. You need to back it off. But I don't think we would rush in and help a nation that started a fight with somebody. I mean, that nation has a right to defend itself. So in other words, you're basically saying NATO can hit somebody, and if the person commits an act of self-defense, we all gonna jump them? That makes us look like the bad guys.
I believe what I believe, brother.
All right, I'll leave it at that. I would submit you should go look that up or do research on that. That absolutely is false. You can believe it. I get it. We can agree to disagree, but NATO is.
I'm pulling at Tim right now because when I talk to you, I write stuff down and I go back and I look. And you can back me on this. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and say, you know what, Tim, I was wrong, man. Yeah. I misread that or misunderstood it. I am not too proud to say when I'm wrong, man.
Fair enough. I would ask my little computer device here to yell it out, but I'm not going to do that. But all right, you look it up and come back and tell me that you're wrong. I'll look forward to it. But yeah, NATO was not created for offensive measures. It was created for defense. An attack against one is an attack against all, not to defend people going out and doing side jobs and overtime on the side. Otherwise, that would make us a bully. That would be more like the mafia, where if you go out and do some bullshit, we'll all back you up on doing it. That's kind of like how the mob operated. We're supposed to be the good guys, not going out and doing crazy shit. So I think that's a little different, Gen X.
The mob ain't the bad guys, all right? The mob ain't the bad guys. They're the good guys.
Yeah. Gen X, I'll move it on. Always good to talk to you, man. Thanks for coming through.
My pleasure, Tim. I'll talk to you again soon, my brother.
Anytime. Looking in the comments here. Yeah, I like, what does that says? Yeah, I like this live. Thank you. Will, he always at least tries to see the other perspective, even if he draws wildly inaccurate conclusions sometimes. Will, I appreciate your input. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Looking in the comments here, deport Trump back to Germany, Trump's father's origin country. It's kind of late. Can't deport the guy back after he's been here for multiple generations, can you? Last week, Tim argued whether in NATO or not will help against Russia. Huh? Yeah, I believe that. I know what you're saying. I actually do believe that under President Trump, we cannot be dependent upon to honor our NATO commitment. I truly believe that. I think that if Russia decided to expand their incursion from Ukraine to Romania or Poland, some of the other NATO member nations, I don't feel confident Trump would use our military against Russia. I don't feel confident he would let them impose what is it, Article 5 or whatever it's called, that America has to, we would have to all come up and help that NATO member nation that's under attack. I don't feel confident that Trump would not bring, well, look, we gave you guys a bunch of money and you didn't hold your end. You violated the agreement of NATO, therefore we're not going to do it. I don't feel, look at all the shit Trump is saying negative about NATO. Not to mention threatening to take a NATO member country in Greenland. I don't think he could be dependent upon the fall of that. I think he would bring up that they haven't met their military commitment or some other excuse to suggest, well, we don't have to meet our commitment either. And I think MAGA would agree with it. I think most MAGA would agree. Well, he's saving us from getting in a war against Russia. And you're right. They only paid 2% of their GDP. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. Trump is right. I think that MAGA would agree with it. And somebody would be left hanging out there. Now, look, if Russia attacked maybe the UK or France or something, it's more likely we would get involved. But some of them Eastern European countries, like I said, Poland and Romania and that kind of shit, I don't think that Trump could be dependent upon to jump in that, even though it's part of the agreement. This is where the world has lost patience with American ignorance. Damn. Well, look, for folks on the left side of the aisle, because I do got some international viewers, and my lives, once they're archived, they are translated. So I do get some folks that respond from other countries. For you folks that are not in America, understand 2 to 3 years, all you have to do is hold out. America will come back to what you've come to know, love, and respect. So it's going to take a little bit of time. We don't want to lose our allies and our friends over one guy. We've been through too much together, folks. We've been through world wars. We've helped a lot of you establish your sovereignty, and you've helped us along the way. 2 to 3 years, we need you to hang on, and we'll get the ally, the friend, the country you've come to know, love, and respect. You'll get that back. As in Olive Branch, I'll let you know, losing America will not be good for your side either. But I understand the anger and the sentiment. That's all I'll say. Just hold on, as Debbie says in the comments. Anyway, looking in the comments, America is cooked. We're not cooked. In the comments, in 2 years, we elect new leadership. Yes. The winter, or we'll just say November, because maybe it's not winter in your hemisphere, my Australian brothers and sisters, my New Zealand's, Kiwis, in November of 2028, we get a chance to correct what you think we may have done this wrong. Give us to November 2028. Just bear with us. In fact, November 2026 of this year, you may see some correction of that. So bear with us a little bit. Bear with us a little bit. We went through a lot over the decades. Give us a couple years. That's all I'm asking. Anyway, looking in the comments, 10 years to get rid of his policies, 10 years of MAGA resistance. The list goes on and on. Wow, Paris McDonald, I think, says, we had a chance to correct it and we failed. That's strong words. Because there are some folks who will suggest, how could you let January 6th happen and then elect a guy? There are people who do believe that, who do say that all the time, that January 6th should have been a deal breaker for Trump ever being able to run again. And there are some international folks that say that. Like, how could you let a president do this to your country, to your government, and then reelect a guy? I don't have an answer for that. Don't be so sure. Democrats may not win. You're promising things you can't keep. Even if Democrats do not win, I do not believe a Rubio or even a Vance government will be like this. If Vance, J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio becomes the president of the United States, they won't be as bombastic. I don't think Vance or Rubio would have threatened to take Greenland, would have been insulting the Prime Minister of Canada. I don't think Vance or Rubio would have, attacked Venezuela. I'm not confident either of them would have even won in Iran. So even if we end up with another Republican follow-up from the Trump administration, I believe things still will be calmer than they are under Trump, because Trump deliberately starts fires. Thank you, Jackson. I appreciate the hat and mustard. Trump deliberately starts fires just to watch things burn. I don't believe Vance or Rubio would do that. Trump is a ratings kind of guy. Trump likes the clicks, the likes. He likes to be discussed and things like that. I don't think Vance or Rubio would do that. So even if you get another MAGA, now if you get Marjorie Taylor Greene or somebody in there, you might get that. But Vance and Rubio does not have a history of doing that kind of shit. They're just going along with it. So yeah, I give us a down in this country. It's just one man likes to start fires and watch things burn. And until we get past that, this is what you kind of have to, you kind of got to deal with. Going back to the box, Stick, the ruler, integrity is important. It's too late. It's too late, bro, says Frank. I hope you're wrong. Stick, good evening.
What's going on, Tim? Man, I promise you, I've had my own lives going on, and I've had MAGA reacts in there, and somehow, some way, he don't understand supply and demand. He just really doesn't.
Explain.
Well, during the C-19, President Trump was in charge, and he had told the Saudis to reduce oil production by 10 million barrels a day coming into the United States.
Okay.
And also in that ultimatum and or decree to them, he said, if you don't, I'm going to pull my troops. Now, during 19, this is the reason why is even bringing up supply and demand. We know that people slowed down, wasn't driving as much, and we know that being that you're not using something, there's going to be a surplus. Whenever there's a surplus of anything, the price tends to drop. What he does not seem to understand is, by taking the 10 million barrels away that we already were getting, that made the price stabilize at a higher price. Yeah, good. I'm glad he did.
You got a guess. You got a guess.
Yeah, that's MAGA. It's MAGA reacts. So when you have a higher, the gas has already went up to a higher price, and you decide to stabilize it at that price, would you not say, being that you stabilized it after it rose, that's not good for the consumer?
MAGA reacts. Doesn't sound good to the consumer to me, but MAGA.
The price was low. The price was $20. Okay, he pretends like the price was like $100. This is when he asked to increase production right here in March. Right here in March, when it was $21. Stick the ruler. I don't know why you think it was like $80. It was $21 when he asked him to lower production to increase the price. It brought the price up to $40, which is normal. It's still cheaper than what it was before CV19. It was $50-$60 before. It's $40 after to do it, right?
So hold on. Time out.
Let him finish. Stick. I'll give you time, but let him keep going. Let him finish his statement.
He leaves office in January, and it's still only $50. It's still cheaper than it was before CV19. It doesn't really skyrocket until fucking October, like 9 months into Biden. That's when it starts going up. Really, December. It starts to going up the second year of Biden. You see this? This is the second year of Biden. Has nothing to do with Trump. He could have gone back to the Saudis and told them to increase production. He didn't do that until like this point, I think. But, you know, you act like fucking Trump was 2021. No, this is all Biden. All this huge spike is all Biden. Trump was here.
All right.
It was fucking
all right,
oil
Stick.
was dirt cheap, and he brought it to normal price.
All right, Stick, rebut.
Okay, so the rebuttal is this. When you start out at 20 and you end up at 50, is that an increase or no?
We started out at 50. We started out at
no. You said it was at 20. You came up. You said it was at 20. Then you said it went to. Then you said it went to 50. It's not 100. It went to 50.
Yes.
From 20 to 50, is that an increase or no?
It's a stabilization. He stabilized the price at the moment.
Is it an increase or no?
Yes, because the supply was down. The demand was down.
That's what I'm saying. So what you just did was made yourself look like a fucking idiot. You got up here, you said it went from 20 to 50, and you act like that's not an increase. That's double, my friend.
But 20 to 50, $20 low.
20 to 50 is more than double.
You said it was at 25. Listen.
MAGA, listen, bro. If you're at 25 and it goes up to 50, you doubled it. It was as $25 more you're paying for a barrel.
But
it increased.
50. He brought it back to normal.
Listen. No. What you are showing right now is you're showing when you go back past where it's not considered 19 in the sense of the vid. You go back. Go back the other way. Okay, stop. 54.
That's and
that looks like 2020 and or between 2019 to 2020. We were at 56.
That's the date right there. It's 2019.
Shut up. Vid-19 hits where it dips. Go down to where it dips. Right there. It hit $28 a barrel. That means the gas prices would have been cheaper for me and you as a consumer. But somehow, some way, during that time, he told the Saudis, stop producing the oil by 10 million barrels a day, and then you have the gradual rise in how much that shit fucking costs. You idiot. You're not understanding that he caused the price to stabilize at a higher rate.
He caused it to stabilize, period. That's what his job.
Oh my God.
He caused it to, and it's
I want to ask the audience that's been seeing and hearing this. Who do you agree with, MAGA or Stick in this? I mean, you see MAGA has the graph. Who do you believe is more closer to accurate in this, MAGA or Stick?
And look, Tim, hold on, MAGA, I'm not talking to you, Tim. You see the big dip?
I see what he pointed at, yeah.
That's hold on, stop moving it. Stay right there. 22 and 20 cents USDA. That's the prime time COVID hit when people were not driving their car.
Yeah.
So what that tells you is supply and demand says this shit has got to drop because nobody is using it and we have a surplus. But somehow, some way, Donald Trump came up with this big good idea to keep gas prices high by reducing it by 10 million barrels a day. So now you got a slow upkeep in the price. It slowly goes back up because he done slowed the fucking oil production down by 10 million barrels a day.
Yeah, it's called stabilizing the price.
No. What he's called is taking something that should be affordable to the American people and making it fucking unaffordable or higher. That's what he's doing.
Look, you don't want
we weren't using it. I'm gonna say it again. Supply and demand. We weren't using it. Each barrel dropped to 22 and 20 cents USDA. That was perfect for you. That was perfect for me because guess what? That's a price that we all can survive and go to the pump and fucking fill up our car. But guess what? Hey, look, you're gonna lose money. You're gonna lose money if you keep on. You're gonna lose money, Saudi, if you keep on giving us these extra 10 million barrels a day. Why don't you cut it back and then we can freeze the price at this high ass fucking price? And look what it did. It went straight.
I think you're
saying is making any sense.
Yeah, I think your graph, MAGA, kind of makes his point.
His point is bullshit. $40 is a low price. You want the market to crash. You want the oil market to crash.
MAGA.
Where the oil tankers and all the other people, other than the Saudis. The Saudis are going to be fine, but everybody else in the business is going to fucking crash.
MAGA. The market does not help me get money. If anything, the market can help me. Hold on. The market can help me either save money by the oil being at $22, or it fast forward to present day, or it can fucking try to bankrupt me by charging me $114 a barrel.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Back to $40. He stabilized the price at $40.
I don't know. Fuck stabilizing it. Keep it cheap for me. Everybody wants $2 gas. Why the fuck don't you?
$40.
Why the fuck don't you? Bruh, why the fuck don't you want cheaper gas? You're on here arguing.
Market to crash, including the oil market.
You're on here.
If you understand economics,
about gas that was $22, and you want to stabilize the market at $51 and make it $30 more higher than what it was.
It was $30 higher.
Make it make sense, MAGA.
Look, you don't want any market to crash, period. That will fuck up the economy. You don't want it to be too low, you don't want it to be high. You want to stabilize it.
At one time, we had gas prices, or at least the crude oil at 22 and 20 cents a barrel. But now you think it's right for it to go right back up to 51 to be stabilized. Instead of them saving money, instead of them saving money by paying that $22 a barrel and getting it refined, and then our gas prices are at fucking $1.50, you rather for it to be $3.69. That's what you would rather it to be.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta wrap it up. All right, MAGA reaction, last word to you. All right, Stick, appreciate it.
That's stupid.
All right.
Just the Saudis, everyone else that fucking transports that oil.
All right, you guys have a disagreement, but I appreciate you coming on. What the hell? Thank you, MAGA reacts as well. Something's happening with the okay, there we go. Looking in the comments, MAGA reacts wanted his time to be so wrong. What are you saying then, Rosema? 7-1. Trump, Mr. Splackerville says Trump 2028 per gallon. Damn. We try to suggest that under President Trump, gas is going to cost $20.28 a gallon. Trump 2028 per gallon is what Mr. Splackerville says. Thank you for the Bonot Buckeye 404. Appreciate the support. Looking in the comments, MAGA all the way, says Stephanie James. So far, that's what we're dealing with. Watch your dollar against the pound and euro. Will Knight says the highest oil prices occurred in July 2008 during George W. Bush presidency, when it was $1.47 per barrel, which is about $228 in 2026 dollars, adjusted for inflation. I remember those times. I do remember that. Looking in the comments here real quick before we move on, and tap the screen, get us on up to 160,000 if you will. Debating if they debated that for 2 hours the other day, and he still doesn't get it, says Blue One Banks. Well, difference of opinion. Sometimes they say you can agree to disagree. Looking in the comment section, so by Iran and Venezuela giving America so much free oil, well, the oil industry is not inflated. There is no way around inflation. Inflation needs, okay, yeah, that's a mouthful under the holy order. Says something, so therefore more means the price will go up. People defend Trump like they know Trump personally is weird to me, says Lonely Therapy. Well, a lot of folks are really heavily invested in President Trump. A lot of folks believe that the guy was wrongfully attacked, unnecessarily prosecuted by the Democrats and the liberals. Some folks even feel Democrats tried to kill the man. So there are folks who really, really sympathize with Trump. Just like some of these illegal immigrants that have been mistreated. Some folks really sympathize with, let's say, Kilmar Borrego Garcia. Some folks really sympathize with the plight of Trump. There is, as somebody who's been to a couple of Trump rallies, I always say this, there is something about the guy that just makes you root for him. I know I felt the energy when I was at the rallies. Now, I'm not a Trump supporter, obviously, but now it's starting to wane because he is getting caught doing and saying things that are so different than what he promised. But there was something about the guy that made people root for him. It is what it is. Lots of trade ran through the U.S. to Mexico. Now Canada, as it says, now Canada cut out the middleman ships at night. What is it? Let me tap this. Okay, there we go. Oops, wait a minute. Didn't mean to do that. I think I just screwed up something on the live here. Let's go back to whatever we were doing here. I think we're live still. Did we take it down? Anyway, looking in the comments, yes, you are Tim Fluffy style. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does Tim Fluffy style mean? Some of you guys be saying some weird. I remember 88 cents in 1997 had a 94 Chevy Suburban, 42 cents a gallon gas tank. That's a guzzler. That is indeed a guzzler.